Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another segment of Talks of Tuesdays right here on Knowledge and Relationships live stream with your boy M3 and the Sophisticated Jerk.
What's good? What's good?
Nothing much, man. Yo, man. So, what we got cooking up tonight, Jerk?
Oh man, we're gonna be talking about that Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. So I guess some like new information was coming out. I seen a lot of people talking about it because for some reason, man, we covered this like when he first went into jail. And it was kind of weird, man, because everybody was on like it's like people chose a side, damn near. So like even with Stan in his comments, Stan says she guilty, send her to jail. And I disagree, man. I think she's the innocent one, man. I think they got it right. Because I think a lot of times, man, people for whatever feelings and stuff didn't look at everything, and everybody starts believing, I'll say the people that they're watching and stuff, instead of like kind of looking at the facts and removing those biases and shit. So I'm not a big Megan Thee Stallion fan, but like I said, I read the report. I'm like, oh, because me and Robbie covered it on. We're all on Bruiser's channel breaking it down. It was like me, Bruiser, Manic was up there, Robbie was up there, Trigger Mike, and it was like a big discussion we was having. I'm like, this Negro going to jail. They were like, nah, man, he getting off. I'm like, all right, watch. Y'all read this report, man. He getting booked.
Okay.
So they, they had their side and stuff. They were like, nah, man, she was lying and this and this. So I think it's just interesting that, break it down and, people being unbiased. It's like, even if you don't like her, which I don't, it's like, man, I can still remove everything and be like, man, just because she be twerking and shit don't mean, she might be lying in this case or whatever. So you think she guilty though, right? Hold on, what's your side on this? So mine is like, I think they got it right, man.
Okay, well, let me get my intake, right? Before we continue, right? Look, everybody, look.
Yeah, put that up.
Advice that what the fuck that he just said, right? It's not financial, medical, nor legal advices for information and entertainment purposes only. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, please be advised that the Sophisticated Jerk's opinion, it's not like necessarily the viewpoints of knowledge and relationships. We always gonna believe like she's guilty no matter what, 100%.
he snitching with that banner. Now I'm playing,
but not. Excuse me. I mean, here's the thing. I believe that she's guilty as far as like omitting certain information. Because the story is not really adding up. You get into a conversation, you got your ex-friend or homegirl, whatever you want to call her. Then it's like, next thing you know, you're in a situation where it's like, okay, you're saying that he shot her foot or whatever, shot her. But then there's no evidence of his fingerprints on a gun. But then the judge is like, it doesn't really matter. Like, leave all women, and now paying the price for something I believe that he didn't really do. Now, for sure, I mean, they're both realistically, they're both guilty for however this outcome have begun. But I don't know, honestly, bro, I just think that that some of the stuff, man, that she's really making up, and if Tory did not shoot her, I'm trying to figure out why would she lie on him.
Yeah. Okay. No, that fair perspective. Like I said, man. I think people miss out, man. Like, she didn't really. When she first initially lied about everything, she was actually lying to cover him up. So that was their first initial lie, because she didn't want to. She was actually trying to protect him. But it's just like, say like I guess somebody was shooting at her feet, and she got hit by a bullet, like ricochet, whatever. once the bullet fragments, go on your feet, that's the crime. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think she was saying like she stepped on glass. So she was trying to like actually like lie about the whole situation. But when she had to go to the hospital, that's, when the doctor pulls them bullet fragments out, they have to report that to the police. So that's where like, everybody's thinking like, oh man, she reported it. It's like, no, the doctor reported it. He has to by law. You know what I'm saying? So once they port that up, it's out of her hands. It's more or less like a legal protocol, whatever. So it's like, okay, the doctor sees his bullet fragments. Like, man, this ain't glass. Hits the cops up. Now it's irrelevant. They're coming for somebody because they're like, hey, this is bullet fragments. What happened? So I think that's when they put the pressure on her. Like, hey, man, you're lying. This ain't glass. This is bullet fragments. What happened? So it's just like, if you lie to us, you're going to jail. So most females ain't gonna take no charge for the man. That's why even like criminal organizations be like, don't do no crimes with no females. So to even circle back, why I think Tory Lanez is guilty is because all the proof kind of just leads that way. Everybody there was like, it was him. Now they could have all been lying, but you got a Megan Thee Stallion. She's a what they call it. When somebody's alive and they're a witness, pretty much. I can't remember the specific term, but it's just like, if somebody sat there, they got shot, and they're like, "Hey, that person did it." Like, man, you're getting booked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Huh?
I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I can't remember it too.
So I think that, man, too much stuff stacked against them. So yeah, that was the issue, and I think people just, she started lying about them sleeping together, so they took that and was just like, pretty much the whole situation. She lied about everything. So, I mean, definitely a weird story. But what I gig him the most about, and I knew he was guilty from the jump. I was like, what the hell is he doing hanging out with Megan Thee Stallion anyways? Because this dude is famous. He's going to a party. I think it was like Kylie Jenner's or one of the Jenner sisters' party.
Yeah.
So he went with her to this party. So I'm like, you already know this is an emotional dude that's hanging out with somebody like Megan Thee Stallion at a function, and he's famous himself. So first of all, you should be going to them things by yourself. So I already knew something was off with him. I'm like, okay, this is an emotional man. So emotional men do type of shit like this.
Stan said he was guilty, but give out a D. But this though, right? Protect him from what when he never fired the gun? This is where I'm gonna have to like post like the link up, man. Because matter of fact, I'm gonna do so right now if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Because we gotta get to the bottom of this, right? It's been a minute since we last like tapped into Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, man. So, and the story itself is already like a conundrum, especially when she lied like a few times on a few occasions. Yeah, about sleeping together. She lied like when she was on the Gayle King show, and then her excuse was like, oh, like Gayle King like put too much pressure on her, so she couldn't remember this, she couldn't remember that. Which that's pretty common. I mean, I'll give her a benefit of the doubt. People does like crack under pressure,
But I mean, I could see why somebody would lie about the sex life, because it's like, man, that's really not on trial. It's like, man, she got shot in the foot. So regardless what happened, and don't get me wrong, it becomes a part of the story because they're piecing everything together. But, that's why she kind of lied about that. But at the end of the day, man, like when the doctor took the fragments out of her feet, they're like, man, these are bullets. So they turned them over to the cops, and they, kind of start doing investigations. So that's where it kind of spiraled out of control. But well, go ahead. What's up, Conrad?
What's going on, family? How y'all doing, man?
Doing all right.
How are you?
I got the little man in the bed, so he built to knock out. So that's why I ain't cammed up right now. So
no issue, man. You good?
Yeah.
So you were
man,
saying Tory ain't shoot nothing?
So basically, gunpowder residue on his hand, Minimal to non-existent. That's the police report. What else? Fingerprints from Tory to the weapon, non-existent. So, I mean, I'm not smart, but if I go to harm somebody with a weapon, even if I'm trying to protect them, my fingerprints have to be on that to convict beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, the only thing that literally made this all go down is because Meg swore under oath that Tory, she saw. Now, her blood alcohol content was above the legal limit to where she couldn't even operate a vehicle. It was on record that she downed a whole bottle of Hennessy to her face. So did Tory. And they're at this whole party. Everybody has a bottle of Hennessy to their face, and you telling me that you are so gangster that you can down 2 of them bottles to yourself and still remember that Tory was the one who did it. But then Tory was in the back seat. So with the weapon in proximity of the first 3 people that are not in the back seat, which would be Kelsey, the driver, and Meg, where does Tory come into this to be able to bust a couple shots? So the stories don't align. Just number one, that's just I can't wait, and I'm hoping that governor goes ham on this and releases that evidence that shows that Tory was not guilty in this, because the Meg Thee Stallion needs to go to jail, straight goods, yo. But on the other hand, random like Tory, like you said, sophisticated, like that was a great point where you were like, what's he doing partying with her? You know what I mean? Like straight goods. But that's a Toronto man vibe. I don't know what's wrong with us. We never learn. Always trying to party with people named after animals and stallions and all type of crap.
No, fair point, man. I like the breakdown. But for the baseline, we could all agree that she was shot in the foot, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay. So it's just like, okay, if we take that, man, it was only there was like 3 other people in the car.
Yeah, aside from Tory, there's 3 other people, and the driver didn't have nothing to do with it. The driver didn't have nothing to do with it, and who else didn't have nothing to do with it? Oh, just by the way, I like what you did with that in the corner. M3. That's lit. Yo, you're muted, my guy. You see what you did with the corner?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, okay. The chat. Yeah, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, he put the share screen on and put the chat so it can reflect. That's lit. I never thought about that. That's lit. That's lit, bro. Learning. That's showmanship right there. Y'all be cooking over here. But yeah, there's 3 people, and like it's just again, I'm not a cop, but I know a little bit of stuff. Okay, how does he have enough time? There's a fight that breaks out. The fight breaks out because he told Kelsey that Kelsey needs to check Meg because Meg has been dealing with him behind her back. Everybody has drank a bottle of Hennessy, at least 1 bottle of Hennessy, except for the driver. So how does Tory, who's calm as heck, just throwing rocks from the back, saying, yo, Kelsey, you might want to put what's that seat that they put on horses again? I can't remember the name. You might either way, huh?
A saddle.
Yeah, you might want to put a saddle on the stallion because she's been running up buck wild, just donkey kicking people at my house. And first name of the people that she was kicking was D's and last name Nuts. So you might want to go check your girl. Kelsey was like, what? You got to understand, they've been drinking since 3 p.m. in the afternoon at Kelsey's party. So that means between the 3 of them, their stories actually can't be corroborated by themselves. If us three went to court right now and Stan said all these three homies, they were drinking and they were drinking since 3 p.m. The first thing that they would have had to do is when we get in the hospital is take blood, a toxicology report, because that is the only other way to substantiate who can actually coherently use their word for to go to the stand. Now, why Tory Lanez lawyers didn't pick up on that part, I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and say Jay-Z paid them off, but I'm just saying if I'm a halfway decent lawyer, I want the toxicology report. If y'all been drinking at Jenner's house since 3 p.m., at Kylie's house since 3 p.m., like I don't know if y'all have drank Hennessy before, and I'm not going to assume you have, but I've drank some Hennessy before. That stuff hits you quick, lightweight or not. That's like 40% alcohol, and you drank a whole bottle to your face? All three of y'all had a bottle to your face? None of y'all can't be trusted. So we need another party to corroborate, even if Meg says, yeah, Tory did it. Okay, where's the other party to show that he did it? Because nobody else the driver should have been subpoenaed by the state to say, hey, nah, you got to come to court. I don't care if you want to keep your face clean or not. So just based on the letter of the law, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. The judge didn't ask for the toxicology report. Tory's defense didn't ask for the toxicology report. And obviously the state's going to keep their mouth shut because this is a high profile case and Tory could very well get deported back to Canada if he's convicted. Now, I don't know how he managed to beat that part, but that's another story for another day. I'm just saying that, hey, that this in my opinion is a case of believe all women. And I land my plane.
All right. See, this is where I got to give some pushback on that. Because Stan said there was 4 people in the vehicle. So I agree with you. They were definitely drinking. But it's still like you got to eliminate Megan from that because she's the victim. She got shot. So you got the other 3. So the other 2 was like pretty much it was Tory. You know what I'm saying? But okay, even if you want to go with the drunk. If you want to go with the drunk thing, which I could fully understand, there was a person from like the apartment building that was like, hey, we seen like a little guy with a gun, you know, firing it off.
And that's the next thing, bro. Oh my, go ahead, man. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, I'll let you cook after this, but.
No, go ahead, girl.
Just even if you man, we've been around females. Who's more likely to take a gun out and be shooting at somebody's feet? You know, that's a emotional guy activity. Because I could see if a female would just like kind of clap you or something, she'll shoot you out of spite. But typically they ain't gonna be shooting at your feet. So that's what I'm saying. That's not like regular behavior for a female. So that's what I'm saying, man. That just don't even, because I hear people like, man, it was what's her name, Kelsey, whatever. I'm like, females ain't shooting at nobody's feet. Come on, man. Like I see some gangster chicks in my day, but they ain't on no cowboy shit.
No,
you know, so the behavior don't even line up with that. Yeah, dance. Come on, man. They're gonna take it. They gonna Remy Ma you. You know, they gonna try to shoot you. They gonna do it, but they ain't like bucking at no ground. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, when you start like laying it out, it's like my man looking hella. All right, it was the bodyguard, but I doubt it was the female at that point.
Oh damn!
If they would have been like she shot her like midsection, I would have been like, okay, that sounds like, you know what, I was mad at. They got in a tussle, she shot her, but shooting at somebody's feet, that's grown man activity. That's somebody that watched too many cowboy movies.
Okay, but man, I'm not even me. If I'm Tory's defense, I'm pulling every card in the book. I'll be like, yo, I want the trajectory of the bullet fragments. I want them to piece that back. And I'm using his stature and how short he is and the fact that he don't have a long wingspan. Like I want that down. Just like when Bucky Davis got pulled into court and they did the laser trajectory in the hallway from the courts that busted up into the apartment, and they were telling him, and they basically proved that the cops came in with the intent to kill, not the intent to subdue him, because they had already fired the shot from the stairwell, and based on the trajectory of it entering in the house, they knew exactly the height and the range in which the gun was sitting at. if I'm a defense lawyer, first of all, I'm gonna tell him to eat some time in jail, because there's no, even if you're wrongly convicted, there's nothing that works in your favor better than dead time. I don't know if that's the same in the States, but I know if it was up here in Canada, I would have been like, yo, you're gonna go serve some dead time. We're gonna get that automatically kicked off your sentence. Even if they give you 10 years, go serve 6 months. Let me really go pull my own investigators that can't be paid off. Let me go pull my own people. I want your wingspan. I tell them straight. I'd be like, I need you to reenact it for me. Let's say you're guilty. Take this story and show me how you would have did it. And then once
my man, I was about to say I need Ruthless up here.
Once he does that, I'm like, I want to see the trajectory of his arm. I want to get the trajectory of the bullet. I want to get the trajectory of the bullet hitting the concrete, because we have to understand, it hit the concrete to smash first. It didn't hit her foot and then broke it from hitting her foot. Then it broke into fragments. It hit the concrete first, which means there has to be a provable line of sight and trajectory. Even if he's doing it recklessly, at the point where it fires, there's going to be an impact on that bullet. And they could have literally tested that round out of her foot, put that back together, put it through whatever simulator. I mean, hell, if they can, like, bro, like, y'all, they did the man wrong. Real talk. That defense lawyer was straight garbage, as my boy from Mad TV would say. Garbage. Ruthless, was
shout out to my man Conrad for watching CSI Toronto and shit. My man said like Gil Grissom up here. You said you could be like checking the angle on the bullets and everything. Yeah, because it did ricochet out the ground. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, no, I would check it. I'm not saying that he's 100% innocent. I'm not saying that he's 100% innocent. I'm just saying he's not 100% guilty. And I would have used line of sight and trajectory and the fingerprints and the DNA. I'd have been like, yo, judge, tell me something. If you blast me right now, is there not going to be some residue on you? Like, what was he wearing? Like a bathrobe? Like, the man wasn't dressed to the nines. Test his clothes. Like, come on. There's so much things that I just would have pulled and delayed the hell out of that case and let him serve dead time. And just when they hit him with the guilty, I've been like, well, I don't care. That's at least a couple of years off because he got dead time. So let's do this.
Yeah, no, they definitely should have did some tests for the defense. What's good, Ruthless?
Yeah, Ruthless.
So Ruthless, let me ask you something. Let me know if I'm off, man. I know California, like New York, man, they got very hard gun charges. So it's just like, because like in the 90s, it was like wild up there. I know like New York, man, they was averaging like 3,000 bodies a year. I know California was like, pretty much the same way because, it was just like everything hitting a wave. So it's like both states had like very strict gun laws. So once that bullet like hit somebody's skin, that's like, is that like federal or state? Like if you go to the doctor's office, they're reporting that and that's like a federal state charge or something like that. They on board. They're gonna investigate that.
It used to be that back in like the 80s, the early 90s. Well, before Obama took office, and once Obama took office, he united the federal government. Well, not necessarily united, but he made them to corroborate right with each other. And what we have here is a tag team, right? Tag team. So whoever gives the most time and do the most damage to someone takes the case. Okay. But what you're seeing here is clearly in all these cases, last 5 cases, right? That's come up on one's current and the ones in the past, that we're seeing a lot of miscarriage of justice, right? We have Tory Lanez. We already knew everybody, even I wasn't really big on that case, but I knew he didn't take the shot, right? And they knew he didn't take the shot. But we're in a country of protect the woman, right? He was the easy target. The DA knew that if they really wanted to know the truth, they could have did the DNA. You know what I mean? The residue, the process of all parties involved. But once again, right? We're in a country that they think that women are pretty much untouchable, right? Pretty much, hey, even if we see, because it was already word was out there that the other girl, Kelsey or whatever her name is, took the shot, right?
But real quick, Ruthless, is that the female's behavior to shoot at somebody's feet?
Well,
Come on, man.
I don't think it was intentional. The shot at the feet. I think when she went to draw the gun, Tory went to grab her, right? And the shot went off as he grabbed her, probably simultaneously, and the bullet hit the ground and shattered and fragments damaged her feet. So, yeah, I mean, she's not a professional. She's not a sharpshooter, and I believe that they were drinking, heavy drug use, probably. I don't know, who knows, right? So there was a lot of drama, a lot of chaos. So it was just a emotional discharge. So yeah, it's very possible that she just was like, you know, I mean, he grabbed her trying to stop her, and she like, fuck that bitch, and the bad aim hit the ground and took her out. So that's very plausible in that situation. You have to agree, don't you?
I think if that was the case, man, I just don't see how, like, if what's her name shot her, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's just gonna automatically put it on Tory. Like, I don't see the purpose of her doing that, you know. And I'm not a Megan Thee Stallion fan, but I'm just saying, like, if somebody did that to me, even if I'd be pissed off at all parties, I would be like, man, she did it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why she'll go to Tory if he was like trying to take the gun from her.
Let me tell you a little secret about the court system. It's not about whether you're guilty or not guilty in a lot of cases. It's about how bad they want you. As you've seen, they let little Woody off with murders because they didn't like Young Thug and they wanted him. Correct?
Facts, bro. Facts.
Correct?
Remember what he said?
He did, right?
Remember what he said when he's like, oh, big homie Quan?
Right? Instead of, okay, I'm convict both of y'all. No. We don't recut. We don't care. We want this Negro. So the government, if they really want you, the other dudes can be committing murder, they can terrorism, whatever. They'll let them slide because they really. So we cannot. The court system. The court system. I think I'm bored. Am I bored?
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, y'all really think they'll go like all out for what was this, like 10 years charge?
Can you hear me?
Yep, 10 years.
How we hear you? Ruthless got too much damn money to be having this badass internet.
Especially he pimping too. Nah, but,
let me ask y'all. Y'all think, man, for a 10-year charge, they're gonna be doing all this like behind the scenes shit just to get like a celebrity on 10 years, and they'll probably be out with good behavior in about like 5 to 7.
Tory wasn't gonna get no good behavior.
Huh?
So once again, right? If they got a hard one for you, they will lie to convict you.
But Tory Lanez, you think they're gonna do that for him?
They did it.
Yep.
The evidence is coming out now. Now, if his father and them got that evidence, the DA had access to that evidence too.
So they got all this evidence that they ain't used in the original trial.
Right.
Like,
I'm telling you, he had a criminal history, he had a past, he's a man, right? Take him down. Because guess what? If them guys
he also had a history of violence with a case with a woman.
So they were like, the same with OJ, right? The same thing, right? They looked at his past and said, you know what? Because guess what? If they had the new evidence that's been coming out now, guess who had access to the evidence first? The district attorney's office. They shoved it under the table. They knew it was out there. Tory just was like, look, I'm not no snitch, right? Which I don't agree that's a snitching type of situation, but he's that type of guy, right? His gangster rap, his persona is thug, I don't snitch, right? But the DA had access to that evidence that's coming out now. They knew about it. Oh, they knew it was there. They knew they could have did the DNA. They knew they could have did that DNA. to make sure to get 100% right correction, but they didn't. Why they didn't?
So I think they had that live eyewitness. Then everybody else was like, she was like, it was him, and everybody else, man. That's powerful. Somebody alive and point you out.
I'm saying, Megan Thee Stallion's a liar.
Girl's been a liar ever since she said she don't sleep around in the industry, so we couldn't trust that. She failed just based on that.
Yeah,
but
that was definitely a lie.
I want to throw something into the mix as to what Ruthless is saying, right? Now, were we paying outside of WAP? Let's pin some things together, right? Outside of WAP with Cardi B, was the general public paying this much attention before this case to Meg Thee Stallion? Think about it. My man has already been locked up for how many years? What, 2 or 3 now? Is it 2 years?
Yeah, about I'll say over 3. Yeah.
Okay. What if, aside from him being locked up, who have we been talking about this whole time? We've been talking about people. But why is Meg Thee Stallion in the mix if it's not for her music and it's not for what she's wearing on the red carpet? She's getting a lot of sympathy play. I remember a quote in a movie that I think it was one of the John Gotti documentaries, that there's no press, bad press is even good press. So in her case, your music is garbage. You got girls who look better than you, and people just like them better even though they're doing the same amount of twerking. You're losing your cachet, and you haven't even done half of what Nicki Minaj has done. What can we do to put you back in people's mouths? Gayle King? Oh, did you sleep with him? Well, what do you mean? Are you dumb? Like, what do you mean? What do we mean? Like, girl, get off the Hennessy and pay attention. You ain't like she wasn't this relevant. And think about it. The only reason why she's relevant now is because this fabricated case that Barney himself could have solved and got it right the first time. We're sitting there talking about her because she lied, and it's clear. We went from kicking windows, which that's a lie, because let's flip the script. If a man had lied about this first, first of all, he's going to be held in contempt of court. He's going to be charged for perjury, and he's going to serve that sentence, plus he's going to get that fine. So there's 4 different scenarios where we can automatically see right there where, as Ruthless is saying, on one hand, it's about let's believe all women, let's protect all women, right? Then we're going to use this outlandish claim that he had a vendetta against her because she was going to get mad at him for Kelsey. And like, bro, what man do you know in his right mind is going to stop 2 females from fighting unless somebody's going to hurt somebody? Especially if he is kind of in the middle of it. That don't make no sense. Like, what reason? If he didn't put the boots to her before this, why would he all of a sudden, if we're so drunk? And again, I've been to court. I don't know who else has been to court. Chat, you can let me know. The police will not take a statement from you while you're inebriated, especially if your toxicology shows it's beyond a certain point. You had to go to the hospital. You cannot tell me that the doctor was able to hold a full conversation with you, whether you're in pain or not. You're down 3. It was reported. Jenner even said it. She came to the party smashed and was pre-drinking and down 2 bottles herself of Hennessy. Bro, I'm not trusting that person. If my homie came to me and said, yo, X-Man set me up, we need to go ride on these guys, and he smells like 4 bottles of Hennessy, I'm gonna be like, yo, let's go get some coffee and let's go sit down and just, sip some oxygen for a little bit. And when you come to, then we can recant the story, because I'm not about to go in there wild west and just start on everybody on some state property movement. No, we're not doing that. So that's what I'm saying. The story doesn't make sense. I've done enough bad things to know when a story doesn't make sense, and this does not make sense. It doesn't make sense that somebody's lawyer, you're getting paid top dollars. The man's not broke. How do you not go and pull gunshot residue, DNA, clothing fibers, toxicology, precision marking. These are 5 things that I would, and then the testimony itself from the interview. Why was the Gayle King interview not used in court? Till this day, I don't know why. Everything that was used in that interview should have been played in court if she's the defense, if I'm the defense attorney. And I'm breaking that down. Why didn't you, I don't care about your ego. Why didn't you want Gayle King to know that you and Tory had intimate relationships? Because then I would have been able to follow up with the question, wasn't your friend Kelsey dealing with the same man that you were dealing with? Wouldn't have that made, if I'm drunk off 3 bottles of Hennessy and we've been drinking since 9 a.m., came to the party already lit, which was already corroborated by a sober Jenner, which doesn't happen often. You're going to tell me that, like, this all makes sense all of a sudden? Nah, bro. They bent the rules. They bent it in broad daylight. And unfortunately, Tory had priors for violence. He had a situation with a woman that was reported, and they used that to show a pattern of traits. Then I'm telling you, that defense attorney must have been paid off. Now, the more I think about it, I'm beginning to believe it. Because, bro, how are you going to pull a witness that is your star witness? This is the defense's star witness. And guess what the witness says? Well, yes, I saw the 2. Oh, you want covers? Okay, there you go. Those are blue covers. How are you going to sit there and say that the star witness is going to come and blow this out of the water, and the star witness comes up and says, well, I saw the man, the short man. He didn't even know it's Tory. He's like, I don't even know who he is. He's like, I just saw the short man with something in the air. Again, line of sight. I would have had that guy's eyes tested. Do you wear bifocals, or do you have a full frame prescription? When was the last time you had an eye exam? How dark was it? Exactly what time of the night was it? Well, what clock did you look at in your room to verify that were you wearing a watch? Did you have your cell phone? If you had your cell phone, how come you didn't record nothing? How did it take you so long to call the police if you had the cell phone? Again, I'm just throwing things out there that just don't stick. I mean, the eyewitness, if I'm the defense, I'm not pulling him up. I'm not even saying his name. The prosecution got to go get that guy. That was the worst defensive star witness you could ever pull. Well, yeah, Tory was innocent, but he's guilty because he had the gun in his hand. They didn't even, and again, the charge is not for actually shooting her. The charge is for firing an unregistered weapon, causing actually a danger to the public, which unfortunately happens to be Meg. I'm not saying she even deserves what happened, but I'm just saying the charges don't stick. Because technically, if I was to do that to you, M3, or do that to you, Sophisticated, that's attempted murder. Like, let's be honest about that.
Yeah, but I think because like what Ruthless was saying earlier, so it's like, man, you got 4 people there. So even though they're drunk, it's still like it's a gunshot thing. So they were like drawn there and stuff like that. So it's like, 4 people, well, 3, because the person that got shot, they didn't do it to themselves. So it's like, it's one of these 3. So everybody's pointing fingers at Tory. So like what Ruthless is saying, he's not snitching. So that's where it kind of just sticks. So I was like, I get everybody with like the stories don't line up, but if he's not going to say nothing, and the other 2 are like, yo, it's him over here.
Well, actually, to correct you, the girl, the best friend, she didn't say it was him, and the driver, the bodyguard, didn't say it was him.
No, but he went on the I think the phone call, because they had some. We're gonna play the video because they break it down. But he was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, and this and this. When I drink too much, So I'm saying he ain't help his case, man. But I see what you're saying, Ruthless. You're saying that nobody else really said it was him, but
I think Megan was the one that buried him, right? She knew who shot her. She knew exactly who her shooter was. But
so y'all saying the state put pressure on her though? It was like, hey, we want Tory. You need to say this.
Baby Rock Nation. I don't know. That's one of the biggest artists. She already made the statement, right? And for her to turn around and renege on that statement could possibly get her jail time or incredible and ruin her career. Because now she'd be looked at as a liar, and her fans would like turn on her. So, maybe Jay-Z and them were like, hey, we gonna stick to it. So you let them fuck that. We know. No, go ahead, M3.
No, I don't mean to interrupt, but
y'all wilding though. So, because one piece real quick, M3, because I got to give y'all a little bit of pushback. Y'all was saying like y'all kind of have an issue that she lied on Tory. Was y'all cool when she was lying? When she was saying she had glass in her foot when they had bullet fragments though?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's all lies.
Of course, it's all lies. I'm not good with it either way.
Dude, I never believed Megan from the beginning, right? I don't think Tory Lanez is the type of dude that would shoot a woman, right? What would he possibly shoot at a woman for?
No, I think he shot at the ground and it accidentally hit.
The evidence is showing that the other girl shot her. That's the new evidence is out. It's out. They got it. It's now they're trying to figure out. First they try to go to the governor of California, but that's gonna fall on dead ears because he's trying to run for president. Yeah, the evidence has been brought to light that he wasn't the shooter. That's right. This is now something that's real. It ain't like they're just trying to deploy something because he got stabbed. No, they're bringing to light the evidence set upon light. The DNA matches old girls, and the driver says they said she the one shot her. So
because the driver skipped town, didn't he, or something?
Originally, when the case started, he did skip town, and then said he had a guilty conscience and came back. Man, yo, holy.
But hey, go ahead, pull up that second video because I know they kind of run through it.
Yeah, I haven't even played like the first video.
Yeah, you can play that one because that one's short, but the second one's where.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's get to the first one real quick because all the stuff that's going on. Maybe that explains what happened to Tory, like while he was in prison. Well, in jail for a minute. So
yeah, he got.
We are back now with a violent attack in prison on the rapper who shot another rapper, Thee Stallion. Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times by another inmate at a California prison. He suffered 2 collapsed lungs, but we are told he is now breathing on his own.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that bad. 14 times? Which prison is he in California? Y'all know?
That part I'm not reading for sure.
I think it was a Supermax. They reported that it was the Supermax. So whichever one has the title of the Supermax, which again, even that I don't get that because like they didn't hit him with an attempted murder charge or involuntary manslaughter or whatever charge that they could hit him with. Why is he in a Supermax? Like this, again, I'm just thinking of the things and I'm comparing this case with a star to other cases that would line up. Okay. If we remember Aaron Hernandez, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. He was going around town bodying people. Did he get a Supermax? I don't think so. I could be wrong. But I don't remember him getting a Supermax, and he was like legitimately guilty. So how was Tory?
Yeah, I think he was. I can't remember where he was at, but it might have been one of them states that, because like I said, California, no man, they don't play around. So it says California Correctional Institution in Tallahatchie or something like that.
I've never even heard of that city.
Right?
Yeah, that's one. That's definitely a prison city, though. It sounds like. But all right, go ahead. You can pull up that video, M3.
All right, for sure. All right, fair use.
Hold your hands up. Okay? Come on, people got to do with them hands up.
Cops in an extremely tense situation. After pulling pulling over a luxury SUV on reports of a shooting in Los Angeles.
These really sounded like gunshots, and I do actually know what gunshots sound like.
The dramatic LAPD dash cam footage shows 4 passengers are on the ground and cuffed.
All right, don't move. Give me your arm.
2 of them music superstars, including world-famous singer Megan Thee Stallion, known for hip-hop hits like Hot Girl Summer.
Who gon' handle me? Thinking he's a player, he's a member on the team.
Now she's in a bikini and bleeding from her feet.
What happened?
Then, bloody towels and a gun are discovered in the car.
Is it warm?
Yeah.
As warm to touch?
The victim rushed to a hospital in an ambulance and heard crying. It's all the beginning of a Hollywood saga that involves 2 massive music stars, a hip-hop whodunit that would change lives forever.
We knew that there was a lot of media attention, but what we weren't prepared for was the absolute circus that this became. And it was really a hip-hop world divided.
July 11, 2020, COVID has shut down Los Angeles, but high in the Hollywood Hills, media and business mogul Kylie Jenner is having a pool party. Almost everyone in attendance is drinking heavily, including Kylie's friend, Megan Thee Stallion, who invites a new love interest, rapper Tory Lanez. Megan live streams from the party on her phone.
Troy, don't get my phone wet.
There was flirtatious behavior going on between Tory and Kylie in the pool. And at that time, Megan and Tory had been intimate. They had been hooking up, and it sounds like there was some jealousy going on.
Megan has had enough flirting and wants to leave. Tory's driver and bodyguard, Jaquan, is behind the wheel as the 2 leave at 4 a.m. along with Megan's assistant and friend, Kelsey. Tory and Megan immediately start arguing.
And it's getting super personal. Tory and Megan are trading insults about each other's artistry, about their skills as rappers. Megan says, "I've had enough. I want to get out of the car."
And when the driver pulls over,
Megan said,
leaves
this
the
dude
car,
garbage.
Tory pulls out a semi-automatic.
Megan's walking away, and she hears Tory yell out, "Dance." Megan turns, and she sees Tory with that 9mm semi-auto in his hand, pointed at her, and he fires 5 shots at her.
Megan is hit in both feet and is bleeding. Despite her injuries, Megan gets back in the car with the help of Kelsey.
Hard to understand why somebody would get into the car.
Let me know when y'all want to stop.
Just shot
Because
them. Megan's phone was in the car. Her suitcase was in the car. She has no idea where she is.
The 911
Y'all can stop at any
call
time.
leads to an
Yeah,
all-out
we'll go ahead and
pursuit
stop.
of the
Incident right this
SUV.
car.
I have a whole
Yeah.
To that tense street
Just-
scene.
whole
Megan
thing
strangely
about
says
the-
Yeah,
she'll
you
put
might
her
want
on
to
blast.
you might want to hit pause before you get hit with copyright.
Yeah, not
yeah.
just hit with that, hit with a lot of different things. So to analyze this thing fully, right? It's a whole backstory to this. My bad. That happens way before this incident even happens. Now, if you don't know what an NFT is, definitely do your research, right? Tory Lanez found a way to make money off his music with the help of NFTs, right? NFT, I believe, is a digital currency in which you can put your music out there, has artwork, things of that nature, and you cut out the middleman, you cut out the record label, right? So the record label, you no longer have to rely on a record label. You can actually make money on your own, right? Tory Lanez mastered the art of doing that, right? Now, there was a big record company, who I will not name, okay, because these people, you got to be careful of naming names and saying different things because, these people are dangerous. So there was a record company that wanted him to sign with him. He declined that option. He didn't want to sign with this record company, right? So because of that, this is why everything is going on. If you look at the specifics of what has happened, his fingerprints was not even on the weapon that they picked up that said that he fired off on.
Thank
no
you.
fingerprints on it, right? In fact, they're saying that his the
Bodyguard?
person that's prosecuting him, right? She's lying because she really stepped on glass and there was no bullet paraphernalia. You know what I mean? The gun that he had, he fired in the air. That's not the gun that shot her. So
Which is what the star witness said from the defense.
exactly. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's bigger than this. It's based on the fact that he has cut out the middleman and he's learned that he doesn't need the record companies. The record companies want him to be a slave. They want to own him, and he don't need to be a part of anything they're doing. You know what I mean? So this is why they are trying to frame him and make him seem like he's a criminal. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and they're using this woman because she's one of their puppets, right? You know what I mean? And she was basically sent to him to basically try to bring him in to this record company. So that's what they do. These record companies, they'll send somebody to you, right? They'll send somebody to you. They'll befriend you. It could be a man or woman. They'll befriend you. They act like they're cool. All they want you to do is sign that contract. Once you sign that contract, it's a dub for you. They own you. You know what I mean? Remember when Prince was writing slave on his head during the 90s? It's something similar to that. You know what I mean? Bless you. Because he wanted to have ownership of his masters. He wanted to own music. He's like, I made the music. I wrote all the songs. Why am I paying this record company anything? It's just like that. You know what I mean? Tory did not need the record companies. And this is why they're trying to make him seem like he's a criminal. You know what I mean? And the real evidence is going to come out. The real evidence is going to come out, y'all. But I'm going to pause there.
Well, salute to Mr. Best for everything.
Yeah, shout out to that.
This is kind of like a similar situation. Well, I won't say too similar, but as far as with the music industry, if you think about this, think about like how they tried to get Michael Jackson before he passed away. Michael Jackson, I mean, I can't remember vividly now these days though, but it was like a huge deal for Michael Jackson to really regain all his rights like from Sony. And I forgot there was like a particular song or album which it took like years for him to like actually regain 100% full rights. I can't think of the name of the song though that was in the album, but anyway.
Well, Mike and three, Mike basically owns Sony.
Right.
He you know, he basically found a way to basically own Sony, right? So they was mad about that. So he had owned the catalog to the Beatles, right?
That's the one I was thinking
now
about.
Listen, when he passed, right, instead of his family taking that money and taking the ownership of that, you know what they did? His family sold back those rights and cut it and got a check from it.
Yeah.
All his brothers and whatever else, they sold his rights back and got a check from it. That's what they did.
Boy, it's sad, man. Like when you pass away and you leave like your rights to your goddamn money hungry family members, no talented family members to be exact. And you work so hard. I mean, common sense is like, hey, you work hard enough to make sure you have ownership. Because you never know, like for the years to come. I mean, if you decide to sell, don't sell 100% rights to them. Sell like a certain portion where you still get a residual. Make them work hard for it. Make them want to like eat the dirt to like get your rights. But unfortunately, man, like the dead can't take what belongs to them. So,
but isn't this the same? Isn't this as Mr. Best was putting it out there? Like this kind of is. I'm not gonna put it in terms of height and notoriety as the same as Biggie and Tupac, but I see the same wheels turning again. You get what I'm saying? Like, and especially with the industry as it concerns to Black people, I noticed that with Black men, if you have the ingenuity, the fortitude, the intellectual balance to actually move forward and create your own, you are not liked. Now, again, Tory had some priors and things that they could use against him, and that was brought up in court. Again, another part of the testimony, Amentrel said that Meg said she wanted to leave Kylie's to Kylie's, and Tory told his driver to take them home. Them meaning Meg and her friend. And he was going to stay because Kylie was trying to get a piece of that. Meg said, nah, I left something at the house, had to go back for it. So said, so done. But again, to stay on point, I was just like, I just noticed that every once in a while, big or small, superstar, platinum guy, doesn't matter. Once you have some type of ingenuity as a black man, there's always a smoking weapon lurking in the distance. And this is why I kind of stand on code, and it's not for people to be holier than thou. It's not for people to be perfect. But when are we as black men across the board going to stop succumbing to this kind of foolishness?
Well,
I'm not saying everybody has to think the way I do. I'm not saying everybody has to be me and has to live the way I say. What I'm just saying is, can we just stop and think? Like, when are we going to really stop playing checkers with our own life?
So, Conrad, to interject is,
wait,
black
wait,
people.
hold on, y'all, hold on 1 second. Hold on, I gotta say this real quick. Hold on. Now, this is not gender specific, Conrad. I'm gonna tell you why. Right now, a few months ago, we lost a sister from Neo Soul. I'm not gonna say her name, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sister
I know.
Angie. That's all I'm gonna say, right? She went online. She complained that she was not being paid for her works because she wasn't, right? As soon as she did that, that accident happened, right? Because the thing is, they want to have ownership. They don't want black folks to own anything. I hope y'all know that. They don't want you to own anything, right? That's why you sign a contract. You know what I mean? Look at the details of what a contract means. You know what I mean? And if you agree to the parameters of this contract, you are basically theirs. They own you. And they own your rights, your image, and everything else. So this woman was like, yo, I've been in the industry for like almost 40 years. I've been with a group. I've been with this. I've been with that. And I'm being robbed. I'm literally being robbed, you know what I mean, from the things that I've done. They're not paying me my money. And guess what? What happened after that? The accident happens. You know what I mean? Because it's really about control. It's all about control with the music industry, man. But really, any of these industries, if you really look at it, you know what I mean? Because we don't own these industries. We are partaking in it. And if you don't have ownership of something and you partake in it, you don't make the rules. You follow the rules. And I land there.
I think y'all making some good points about the industry. I definitely think, they've been ripping people off, but y'all going to stretch with the Tory Lanez stuff. Y'all had to like my boy Nas or something. Talking about some ingenuity. Y'all tripping.
It's that simple stuff, man. Look, your talent, their money, man.
But I like what Conrad was saying. I know Ruthless wanted to join in, but let me finish this because it's probably gonna warm him up a little bit. No, I agree with what Conrad was saying, and that's why I kind of started it. Because it's just like, even if I think Tory Lanez was talented, so I was just cracking some jokes, but yeah, and it's the same story that's playing out. So yeah, men do got to maneuver different. Because it's just like, man, that like what Mr. Best is saying, if that's correct, how they want to, man, they typically go for your desires, man. So men got to stop playing into that. Because with this case, it was just like, man, like I said earlier, I'm like, man, there ain't no way in hell you could get me to go out with no Megan Thee Stallion. Time she was like, hey, man, I'm going to this party. You want to roll? I'll be like, oh, hell no. Like,
But my point is that it's not gender specific.
No, that's true.
This thing is based on ownership and rights, and like I said, they'll send someone to you. There's a movie called I think it's called Beyond the Lights or whatever it's called. It's about this woman and she's in the music industry, and she falls in love with this guy, but he's not what the music industry want her to fall in love with. So they try to sabotage her. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different stories, Joe. I mean, if you look at the story of what's his name? What's my man's name? Sam Cooke, right? You look at his story. He wanted to have complete ownership. He wanted to bring all the black artists together to have complete ownership. And then he has this weird incident inside a hotel room, and now he's not here no more. These are all different cases. You know what I mean? And when you try to dig deep into them, Yeah, you may find yourself hitting a brick wall. No, you're gonna hit a brick wall. Ain't no find yourself. You're gonna hit a brick wall. But I land there.
Good, some good points made. But this is universal, right? I do agree with Conrad to a degree that since integration, black people sold out for the money, said fuck the respect. But universally, even in the court system, music industry, sports, they treat black people as we're still slaves and they're the masters, right? Colin Kaepernick, right? He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't hurt nobody. But they made an example out of him, right? We can look at P. Diddy, right? They're making an example out of him, right? He's actually on trial for domestic violence, and they got him like he's a drug dealer, right? So it's all this is just, and I said this to the black people some time ago, like a few weeks ago, after the Carmelo Anthony thing came out, right? You would never be able to sit. I don't care what we do. We'll never be able to sit at that table with them, and they're going to let us know. But yet, us black people, we dog each other so much, though. Like we're our worst enemy as well, right? We hate each other even more than they hate us. I think sometimes, right? Because they actually we taking each other out. So, yeah, I do agree that it is stacked against black people. Don't like black people for the most part. But at the same time, we have to get our house in order first before we're able to garner respect from others. As long as we're all over the place, fighting each other, battling each other, dogging each other over some petty stuff, they're going to continue to take advantage of that. And to Conrad's point, will that ever change? I don't know. I doubt it, because people love money, right? People love, and when they get the money, they get big head and they separate themselves from other blacks. And the white people ain't going to stop giving them money, right? Whether it be sports, entertainment, they're going to keep paying them, and we're going to keep divided. So all I can say is, raise your family, enjoy your life, and enjoy the show.
So let me ask you guys, do you think in this case, Tory should have just been like, dropped the no snitching code and pretty much said what happened? Because like I said, there's 4 at the end of the day.
They're civilians. None of these people are thugs. None of them claim a set. These people aren't thugs.
Well, Corey's kind of
Tory's not a thug. He's not a thug. He's not affiliated with no gang in Canada or any other part of around the world. Not the Crips, not the Bloods, not nobody.
But he still gangster rap. That's what he represents. Falls under a category of certain kind of street rules apply.
So Ruthless, you think if he would have said something, his career would have been over anyways, huh?
Yeah, because then people would have said you're a snitch. Because
then take the snitch title, but you from what I know, especially of American gangs, you can't claim to be a part of a set that you're not a part of. You're going to get checked instantly. It doesn't even matter which chapter checks you. You're going to get checked. And it might not be as vicious, but Canada operates the same way. So there's no set that should have been, short of people just not buying his records, because the gal them would have kept buying it. Women who like to wind up their waist in the dance hall, run their little modern R&B, they would have kept buying the track record. So he wasn't going to lose money on that.
So
you're going to sacrifice your life for people that don't care about you, for people that won't lose sleep on you, because you want to fit the code that you're not a part of. Bro, you're a civilian. You're not a gangster.
He is a part of the code. When you're rapping gangster rap, gangster shit.
I've never heard one of his lyrics where he talked about being gangster.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, his songs is gangster, right? His songs is gangster. He's a gangster, right? He falls in the line where the rules already implied for his fans, right? And he doesn't necessarily have to. You don't necessarily have to be part of a gang to be a gangster, right? You can stand on your own 2 feet and talk about if motherfucker disrespect me, I this or that, right? That's gangster rap, right? But my point is, that's probably why if he did do that, his fans would have held him to the right. Other people would have came out and called him a snitch, and his career would have been over.
Well, from just listening to his music, he don't rap about like nothing like that. But I will say this: I think that I think that he was loyal to a fault, and he's loyal to people that's not loyal to him, and I think that's really the issue. So to answer your question, OG, I think that I think that he doesn't want to. He was trying to be a gentleman instead of really protecting himself and understanding who he was dealing with. You know what I mean? I think in his mindset, he still thought that he didn't see that that the person that was accusing him of this was basically, put there, as a way to bring him in to the industry. He didn't see that. He's still thinking that they really on his side. I think he knows that now, right? Now that he behind them bars, he definitely know that. You know what I mean? But before that happened, he's still thinking, oh, this woman love me. Oh, she care about me. This and the third. And the thing is, man, when people, that's why you always have to question somebody's agenda, right? Question people's agenda, question their motives, question what they're doing, watch their words as well as their actions, okay? And I'll let you know who they are. You know what I mean? Definitely let you know who they are. But he wasn't doing that. You know what I mean? What he was doing is that he was enjoying himself, right? Not only do you have the woman, you got her best friend. You knocking them both down, right? Anytime you want. Like, they just let you have it. Like, you chilling, and you probably got whatever you got on the side as well. You know what I mean? So he living that life, man. He chilling. Not knowing that these people are trying to sabotage him. Not knowing these people are trying to hurt him, right? But that's a lesson that he learned. So when the brother does get released, because I believe he's gonna be released real soon. When the brother do get released, right? I cannot wait. His music gonna be bomb. It's gonna be great, and he'll finally be able to tell his story, and we can really learn from whatever he's going through. But yeah, he was doing his thing out there, SJ. That's what it was. He was doing his thing. He got blinded. That's what it was.
Yo, let me ask you guys a question real quick, right? Since we're talking about character and lifestyles and decisions. Y'all know I'm married. Y'all know I got kids. Based on what you guys know of Conrad right now, do y'all think that I'm so nice that somebody could come out of pocket in the comments or on any one of these panels and say something about my family, specifically my wife or my children, and I might not fly off the handle?
Not at all.
Nah, not at all, bro. Not at all.
Like, and so the reason why I asked that question is because, again, when are men going to stop playing checkers with their life? You're not marrying this girl. And yo, I know I saw the comment where she's like, oh, he didn't want to take her from her kid. He's not the father of that kid. If you want to play stupid games and enter into the circus where it's a party of one, then you gonna have to eat whatever amusement park ride falls on your head. I'm sorry. But if anybody thinks that you could sit there and come and disrespect Conrad's wife, I don't care if you find her ugly. I don't care if you want to say my kids are stupid. It doesn't matter what you want to say. The mere fact that me and anybody could be on a panel and anybody in the comment section or anybody on any panel could sit there and say something about my wife and think that, one, I'm not going to check them in the moment, and two, like, everybody that person's associated with is, bro, that's the character check at that point. At that moment, before I snap, if everybody else is remaining silent, like, oh, well, that's not my wife, that's not my family, let's see what Conrad's gonna do. Just know, after I'm done snapping, it's no disrespect, but I'm not talking to anybody else. Because there has to be a solidarity of respect and foundational principles that every man has for his individual self. It's not about how somebody else will like you and how somebody else will hate you and how somebody else will glorify your life or put down your life. What do you value your life? And this is the thing I learn about these celebrities every day. These men don't value their life. This is why somebody can come up and give them a buck breaking contract, send these little hookup girls to their hotel, and all of a sudden, now my man's in the news. Now my man's this. You think I feel sorry for Diddy or any one of these guys who bite these buck breaking contracts, and because Massa's door was open to them, and then all of a sudden now, and like I said on somebody's stream, every black man is rich until they don't need you anymore.
People gonna still keep signing
contracts. But Conrad, hold on. Did somebody say something in the comments about your peoples?
No. It happened on some when I first started coming into the space.
Okay.
It happened on some. That's why I used it as an example. It happened on somebody's live stream, and I snapped on the whole comment section, and it was all women. They were like, "I bet you his wife is this." I stopped the whole stream. I was like, "Yo, who are you guys talking about?" And the host was like, "Yo, Conrad, chill out." And I was like, "Nah, bro, you saw the comments." He's like, "Yeah, I know," but I was like, "Okay, this is my problem." And bro, that man nor his people have ever seen me back again. And I'm dead serious about that. I don't make friends with anybody who tries to disrespect the foundation that I'm building. You don't got to go to hell. You just can't be around me ever. And to make sure that doesn't happen, I don't be around them because I'm not perfect either. But at the same time, I don't play checkers with my life. This is the one thing my grandmother and my grandfather taught me. And they both said the same thing to me on their deathbed. You as a man cannot afford to play checkers with your life no matter what level you're at. So it's just like, I gotta take that in. If every day we wake up and there's another black man, celebrity or poor, bum or rich, playing checkers with his life because of industry vagina, then why would I as a regular guy put these guys on a totem pole or put any man on a totem pole if I expose to M3 my code of conduct and I give sophisticated jerk my code of conduct and I see them and we're in a round and there's a man in the group or there's men in the group that don't align with that code, I'm gonna say, yo, somebody's playing checkers. And if y'all don't know what that means, I'll be like, yo, peace, I'll hit you on the back end. Because I understand the atmosphere. Not everybody's gonna feel the way I feel. But the one thing I can say I learned from the streets is you gotta be literally so sensitive to the atmosphere. Yeah, I know I'm landing my plane. I'm sorry. But
no, take your time.
We men gotta be so sensitive to the atmosphere that we're in that we're not putting our life for somebody else's piñata. That's all I'm saying, man.
Good point. Look, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, bro. Right? And I think that yes, we should all have a code of conduct. The thing is that we're not facing the temptation that this dude is facing. Like we're not living that type of lifestyle, right? We saying no to just regular chicks or whatever chick on social media, whatever, you know, and she just maybe a basic looking chick or whatever it is. Whatever. Nah, I'm good, right? You know what I mean? You can say no to maybe about 3, 4, 5 chicks, but if you coming out your building, there's about 50 women lined up. And they all looking appealing. Yeah, you can say no, right? But how many times can you really say no? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot.
Tupac didn't say no, and what happened to him? Man, them getting.
But hold on, C-Rap, hold on. All I'm trying to say is this, right? That's why you know, for someone like you, I would tell you to travel with your spouse. You know what I mean? Keep her right there with you.
Yeah, that's
you know what I
really
mean? So that you're not even trying to go down that lane and they know what time it is. Because if you don't, and you are by yourself for an extended amount of time, that's too much temptation for any man. That's too much temptation for any man. Ain't no man gonna be able to, especially if you're attracted to women, you ain't gonna be able to keep saying no every single day. Nah, your woman got to be around.
No, every single hour. Every single minute, right?
Thank God I'm kind of ugly, so I ain't got to worry about that.
Every single second.
I was looking at my man Armin Trail's comment. So he said Tory pretty much didn't tell because he was trying to look out for Kelsey and her kid. This is where I'm different from most people. I would have snitched on her and the kid. I'd be like, look, Your Honor, they both guilty. They, you know what I'm saying? I ain't about to take that charge. Because, I mean, look at the state it put it in. My man got stabbed 14 times. Yeah, that kid would have been serving time, too.
See, I don't know if that would have stood up in court, though. Because the case was built on Megan Thee Stallion's testimony. And
Still,
she made the claim that he took the shot. So it'd have been your word against her word.
You know, I'm going to also add on to this, right? This guy's mentioned about the congresswoman earlier, right? Anna Paulina Luna, right? Spanish congresswoman, right? Now, don't think I'm, getting into it because she's Latino or whatever. That has nothing to do with it.
Oh, that's exactly it.
Oh, I don't know. That's your style, M3.
But the thing is, right? For someone like her, right? Especially she's from like Florida, right? Out of all people, the fact that she want to give up in this case and demand right for partners for Tory Lanez, that speaks a lot of volumes. Because think about this, women know other women, okay? And I'm not, again, I know it's not like a gender thing, but of course, from the public eye, they're looking at it as a gender thing, because of this situation that Tory's in, because the hit that's being put out on her, like everything just is not adding up. And I think the longer, like this my theory, right? I think the longer, like he survives, like in prison, like the better chance that the truth is actually gonna come out eventually. But I think that's why they try to put that hit on him. That's why he got stabbed multiple times. I'm glad that he survived. God was definitely on him on the side for that moment. But they try to get rid of him, man. Because once they get rid of him, then you ain't really got much of a case. Ain't no need to further investigate or go deeper with it.
But the case is done. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know what facts is gonna come out. Because I see what y'all say about the industry, but I think the case is way more simpler than what everybody think it is, man. I think you have 4 people drinking, some shots went off, some bullet fragments went in their foot, and somebody was gonna pay that price. Because it's like, man, certain states, once that bullet leaves that gun, man, and it pierces somebody's skin, man, somebody in trouble. So I think it was just that simple. Like I don't think
it's deeper than that, SJ. It's deeper than that. That's why I broke down the NFT thing. It's deeper than that, and we have to understand the gravity of what was going on. Once somebody, okay, if you find out a way to make money on social media without having to use main social media, right? You ain't got to use YouTube, you ain't got to use IG, you ain't got to do nothing, and you are making money, right? People gonna target you, right? If our channel finds a way to make money without using anybody else, right? We making money on our own. We become a target now because those powers that be, they want their percentages, right? They don't want us to cut out the middleman. They don't want us to cut out the StreamYards and the YouTubes and all that. They want that check every month. They want you to pay for this every month. So now we ain't got to pay. Oh, it's a problem. Salute to my music curator, Von Eric. Marcus was good. You know what I mean? Now it's a problem. You know what I mean? Because you have found a way to not have to deal with me. You know what I mean? So I do have a question, right? Based on kind of what Conrad was saying. If y'all was male celebrities, right? You know what I mean? If you was male celebrities, could you deal with the temptation? All of y'all. For me, I'm gonna say no. I couldn't. I got to have my woman there. You know what I mean? I couldn't deal with the temptation, but could y'all deal with the temptation?
I'm fucking all the bad bitches. Period.
I have to do one of them numbers like you said. 84. Yeah, I'll bring the wifey. Like, man, you business partner. We gonna travel together because that's a lot thrown at you.
After the concert's over and you got 80 bad bitches talking about you're gonna be like, off to the wifey.
Well, I mean, I look at them type of females, man. Like they, man, you're gonna end up like Diddy and them. You're gonna end up in some case, man. So I look at that as like when I see that type of stuff. Some people might see like desire or temptation. I look at that as like you gonna pay out. So I could actually walk by that, man.
You like Future? Just work all the hood rats.
The question, right? Because like I feel like media wise we've been kind of like self-trained on it, like in an indirect way. Like if I was in that position, and let's just say like I had like let's say like I don't know, let's just say my woman was with me or whatever, and now I blew up or whatever, I'm famous, and now I got all these other women throwing themselves at me. I'm gonna actually look at them like they're landmines, you know, because they're going to be fair destructive for my career path, which I would be smart enough pretty much like to say no. I think for me, because if I already reached to a level of success and I already have like the woman that I need, I don't think I need anyone else. If I go into now deliberately knowing that I have a partner and I decide, okay, well, let me go ahead and I'm gonna like just clap like everyone else's cheeks or whatever. What would be the purpose for me to do that? Would I do it because I want
bad bitches? They bad bitches.
Yeah, we can say that. But
I mean, what we doing here?
but we already know this scenario. We already know how it's going to end.
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right?
That's true. I agree with OG on that one, definitely.
But real talk though,
y'all can say no. After you can say no, but if your celebrity crush jump in your DM, if she starts showing up to the event, right? It could be Selma Hayek, it could be J-Lo, any Latino woman that you think is hot, and she's showing up now. Look at your eyes. Now she's showing up, right? Yeah, it's different now.
Yeah.
He said the eyes never lie.
I thought you was talking about like a regular chick or whatever, right?
I'm talking about high end, baby.
Oh shit! Okay, let me reiterate. I'm thinking you talking about like a broke chick or whatever, right? Because that's easy to pass.
Oh, I'm talking about high end.
Oh, high end. I'm fucking all of them, right? You know, look, I'll let my woman know, like, look, hey, this is what it is. I'm in this type of situation, lifestyle. You could join me. You know what I mean? Be like, you'll be the main wife. The other West man, like, I gotta get my needs right. Yeah, if they're high end, I ain't tripping about that.
Yeah. Yeah, you should give all the bad bitches up that one high end.
Look how he troubled.
Yeah, he recanted his whole statement. He was like, look.
The whole statement.
Mm-hmm.
He said he gonna give up all the bad bitches for one high end bad bitch. Okay, well, you better than me. First of all, you know, you got, and all these the ones you talking about, MP, the nobodies, they looking like somebody though, right? They got everything, right? They got everything. And then you talk about 50 of them, right? Looking like 10, 8 and up. Big booty, nice, soft, everything you want is right there. And you're gonna say, get the fuck out of my face. I'm going to go after
hell yeah, if you a broke bitch, I ain't fucking with you. You gonna fuck up my credit, you gonna fuck up my lifestyle, and you gonna fuck up my
How she gonna do that? You just put her up to the hotel.
No, come on, man. You already know how it goes, man. Look at all the famous celebrities that mess around these like broke chicks, and look how they end up.
So wait.
Look, it's a famous man's kryptonite.
Wait. I have to disagree there. Most of the women that are giving these celebrities problems are high-end women, right? Cassie and Diddy was getting 11 years.
Yeah, they're all getting problems from all the women. High end, the low end, the low maintenance, the dollar store ones, the bargain basement ones. All.
Tia Mari said, I'm graduating for marriage. Tia Mari, high end. She said, I'm graduating.
Graduated with a 5 head. That's what she graduated with.
And then she started doing the slut rock. So I'm just saying, right? You gotta enjoy it. You only live once, M3. Bad bitches is my type.
Hey, look, man, look. That's you close cleaners, man. I'm telling you right now, right? What's worse? Okay, a bad woman that got all of her stuff together, right? You know, divorce you, take the kids away from you, versus a broke chick that's cleaned out your finances. Look, I'd rather be with a woman. If I was going to choose that fate, I'd rather have the woman, right, that has some stuff together. Look, you could take all my kids. I don't need them no more. You know what I mean? Especially if they don't grow up to be successful like me anyway, you can have them. But don't be like the broke chick that's going to try to sue me, that's going to try to take like half or maybe more than half than what I've earned or what I worked for on my own without you.
So That's why the broke trick. You put cameras in there, video recording, and NDAs.
And the judge don't care about your camera stuff. They don't be like, "Whoa, that's
it's on camera."
Yeah.
And got it on camera. No, but only problem is some of the homies do snip.
Contract. Look, this is my plan, right? If I was gonna go through that route, okay, y'all all gotta be signing contracts. It gotta be gold stamped by a lawyer, okay? Hell, I'll pay for it, you know, just so I can make sure it is official. Then we can get to cheek clapping or whatever that you want to do. That way, if something happens, you know, if you accidentally get pregnant, if you try to sue me for something, you try to get money, you ain't getting a dime. You know what I mean?
But y'all talk about what, like an NDA or something?
Yeah.
NDA, and also like, yeah, it could be something like that.
Them shits don't work. Man, I'm telling you that I like what 84 and Conrad, man. You just gotta get some females that you like, and you gotta rock with that. Because if not, man, they would find the workarounds, the NDAs now, because they're like, look, I was drugged. He coerced me. He threatened me, and that null avoids them now. So that, man. I better stop messing with that stuff, man. They find the loopholes in the protocols.
So figure, you know who has all these plans? The educated women, right? Get you some hood rats and have a good time. Right? They just get them a Louis Vuitton bag.
Hey, Ruthless gonna have y'all in there. Y'all gonna be on trial with Diddy and Smokey Robinson.
Look who took Diddy down. What you mean? This woman he's with 11 years.
Yeah, but they starting to come out the woodwork. There's some broke ones that's gonna pop up.
She wasn't a hood rat.
Nah, she wasn't. But I'm just saying, there's gonna be some other ones come out there. Say,
listen. Let me help you out. Right? It doesn't matter which way route you go. There's no guarantees that you won't get taken to the bank anyway. Right? Just protect yourself. Film shit. You know what I'm saying? Record shit. Are you consenting to do this? Are you down with it? Before this goes down, right? Bam, lock it in, save it. That's all I can tell you. Because you get married, these married women, they're still Tom Brady's wife. Even though she's a millionaire, still went after his assets because she wanted half his assets, even though she's already worth over 30 million. Greedy, right? So yeah, any woman that you with, whether hood rat or educated, elite, got money, they can cross you out.
Nah, you definitely gotta be cautious, man, because like you said, it can come from all angles. This is the probability is a little better on some sides, but like you said, that don't mean you scot free. So I definitely agree with you on that. Hey, let's play out the rest of that video though, man, because I still think Tory guilty. I know y'all put on a good. I'll say y'all gave a good case.
Yeah.
Police sent her to the hospital and Tory to jail. At the shooting scene, investigators find 9mm shell casings and jewelry. And from jail, a telling moment when Tory calls Megan's assistant Kelsey with an apparent apology.
Just want to let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that if I wasn't that drunk.
Tory is charged with
Hit
assault
pause.
and illegal possession of a firearm. But the battle between Megan.
So y'all telling me that call was doctored?
That was AI.
that's hella incriminated. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, what you sorry about if you ain't do nothing? You was breaking it up. That's what, man. Come on, y'all serious? Ruthless. What you saying about that piece right there, man? What was he apologizing about? Drinking?
Right, arguing with her.
He must have had to step away. You could press play again.
What happened?
Oh, go back a little bit so he can listen to that part. Yeah, hold on, Ruthless. We gonna let you listen to it.
Tory calls Megan's assistant Kelsey with an apparent apology.
Just want to let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that if I wasn't that drunk.
Tory is charged with assault and illegal
Hit pause.
possession of a.
So what he's probably saying, I would never get heated if I was that drunk. You know what I mean? So, but he ain't saying hey, I'm admitting that I shot a gun. I'm sorry, that I shot a bullet at you. You know, it just what it is.
Listen, the bitch shot at her, and that's that. What are we talking about? What you talking about? But see, but this
So,
is where
what address that call, Ruthless? What's up with that call?
he just, he was just saying that, hey, like he knows Megan's lying. He's trying to get her to, hey, I would never. Megan know who he didn't shoot her, so he's probably just trying to go a different approach. Like, look, I was not drunk. I would not shoot at you, right? And hoping she like, agree with him. But then she like, whatever. I already said my story, and I'm sticking to the guns because your ass got to go down for opening your mouth, right? You should have never said nothing about us fucking in the first place. Because that was the whole argument about. Because he was in a relationship with the other girl. Megan Thee Stallion got a little piece of the action, right? And this nigga ran his mouth talking about, yeah, Megan, yeah, we fucked. Now she and her start fighting, or her and her start fighting about, why you fucking my man, and that's when she grabbed the gun and all the shit, Cal. So basically, I think that's why he really didn't press the issue, because he was the cause of this by, exposing information that he really didn't have to do. But hey, it is what it is. He's gonna get out and they're gonna drop the charges.
But that call ain't incriminating to him, you wouldn't say?
Nah. He wasn't.
Y'all wildin'. Y'all wildin'.
They broke it into a part where they intentionally try to make it incriminating.
Y'all wildin', man. Damn, man. Y'all.
What he said, I wasn't that. I would never shoot at you. I wasn't that drunk.
He didn't even mention about no shooting though.
Nah, he didn't mention the shooting, but he was like, "Hey, I would have never done that shit if I was."
Okay then. So how'd that incriminate him?
Y'all crazy. Damn, boy, y'all doubling down on the brotherhood tonight, man.
No, I'm asking you, how did that incriminate him? If he said I would never do nothing like that, I wasn't that drunk, where's the crimination at?
Well, I mean, he didn't say the shooting, so I see what you're saying on that. But if you was just drinking, there's nothing really to apologize about.
Well, he was apologizing because he was trying to soften her up. It was
soften her up for what? He didn't do the shooting, so why would he need to do that phone call? Wouldn't it be Kelsey making them type of phone calls?
Tory's a nice guy, right? He just said he's probably a woman protector. Right?
But y'all just said, man, he taking a charge. Hey, he taking a charge on some G shit. G's ain't gonna be doing all this calling.
But you gotta understand, I don't think he had a choice, right? Megan made this statement. He didn't confess. Right? She made a statement. They asked her, who shot you? She said, Tory Lanez.
Did he do a diss track kind of laying this stuff out?
I don't know. But she made a statement, and then she got on the stand and doubled down. They said the whole case came down to her statement, her testimony, because she was the victim. Who shot you? Is the person in the courtroom here that shot you? She said, yes. Can you point at the one who shot you? She said, that black ass nigga right there.
So what happened if like he laid out, y'all, like y'all said, man, the DA and all them is gonna drop all these facts and it come back and it just makes him look guilty. Y'all gonna give her some props, be like, you know what, man?
Well, I knew he was innocent the whole time. So, I know how women are. This feminist movement. It was easy for her. It was easy for her to take a man down than it is a woman, even though she knows the woman shot her. So I never put nothing past any of these women to look out for the womanhood, sisterhood.
Ruthless Truth, let me ask you this question, right? Now, between the fall between Megan and Kelsey, right? Did it have something to do like did Tory like kind of like mess around with Kelsey as well too? Like, and that's how like it kind of happened during the argument.
Yeah, that was his girl. Kelsey was his girl.
Kelsey was girl. Okay.
Yes. Megan was the friend of the girl, and I guess the word got out that Tory Lanez got that good D, right? Right. She wanted to pull up and get some of that, that whatever he had, right? And it was, and then I guess they all in the back of the car drunk or whatever, and Lane spills hey, we fucked the other night. What you talking about? And Kelsey got the feeling that's what the whole fight was about.
Right. So my point is that like because he was messing around with Kelsey and trying to get a piece of Meg as well too, you know what I mean? this is the reason why it was easy for Meg Thee Stallion to lie on Tory Lanez, right? Because she was already heartbroken, she was already pissed.
Yeah,
You know,
right. I agree with that.
when you do a woman wrong, right? You know,
Oh, no, come on.
it could be any woman, right? Going to be vindictive. Luckily, it wasn't like a white woman that he was like, you know, like screwing with because he would have been under the dirt a long time ago. But because of that situation, it gives Meg Thee Stallion allegedly more incentive, right, to make a bold-faced lie, and they ran with it because they know that Tory Lanez, unfortunately, he has like a mass criminal history.
Okay, but let me ask you guys. So, who you think a female? Because we say they are emotional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all think she is gonna, like, you got both parties. You got Tory Lanez and her friend that both kind of screwed her over.
Mm-hmm.
But the one individual that not only screwed her over by messing with her man, also shot her. She's gonna protect that individual over the other one. That's what in y'all mind y'all try to map out. Y'all think that's logical?
So here's the thing, right? Unfortunately, because Tory Lanez is a very emotional man, and Meg Thee Stallion is a very pre-calculated woman. According to the sisterhood, right? I'm trying to get a character. According to the sisterhood, she would rather, let a criminal, a person who, and here's the thing, the shooting wasn't really intentional towards her anyways, to be a fact. It just so happens that she just had bullet fragments. She would rather put Tory behind bars because Tory is the reason why of this whole fallout to begin with. Look, women, if they really want to get you down, they don't care if they let the person, the real corporate go. As long as they get you down first, that's all what really matters. And I think at this point, she don't care. Hold on.
Y'all stretching this out, yeah.
I agree with him too.
Both of y'all drunk.
No, for real. What do you mean? She lied. I'm confused if it's a good joke about you. So the evidence is clear that there are people, lawyers, are coming out saying that will exonerate him, and you saying we're drunk.
Man, they ain't got no evidence that, man.
Yes, they got the evidence. They made an announcement as soon as he got stabbed.
Yeah, because, man, people always say stuff like that. Why would you go in public and say it? Why wouldn't you just file it? Like, you know, put it out. Get your man out of the jail. Like, man, you should have used it in the very beginning of the trial. Shit, you just got to mysteriously find stuff now? You didn't do no thorough investigation in the beginning?
Look. Wait, hold on for a second. Look, I'm gonna just say it like this, right? Look, May got a plan. She got a long-term plan, and Kelsey's time is gonna be coming. Okay. Now, I gotta be careful when I'm saying this live stream, but I just say this is by theory, right? And most likely this might gonna be proven to be true. The reason why May does not care about letting Kelsey go, right, is because she already has her people, right? Where they're gonna probably have like a business conversation, with Kelsey. But first, she's trying to take out Tory first, okay? Because he's an easy target. It's easier for him to be taken out. I mean, look, they already tried to get him. They was already trying to delete him up in prison. It just so happened that they just was not successful in finishing the job.
Okay.
But once Tory's out the way, the streets are gonna come back, and they're gonna have a conversation with Kelsey. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, I mean, I agree with you, but Sylvester Gary Jerk's he's a little cloudy today, right? It seems like he is a little bit stern. I think he's stubborn, right? And that's his personality. But the facts are the facts. These people are not going to come out because the case was so big, right? In public perception, they're coming out to clean up some shit that made their son look bad. So they're coming out the public to bring these allegations, these newfound allegations that he is innocent, that he's not the shooter, and the girl was the shooter. because they're trying to clean up the public profession first so that this won't get pushed under the rug or whatever, right? Now it's out here, we're going to have to deal with it. They already hit up California Governor Newsom, right? That's going to fall on deaf ears. And then they're going to talk to district attorney office, and they're going to have to reopen this case, right? It's just like the Innocent Project that they do in prison, that you see people go free after 30 years after DNA come back and it wasn't them, right? Right? So this is nothing new under the sun. This is nothing new under the sun, right? There's many people who've been, and the witnesses got on the stand and lied. It was him. It was him. And when the DNA came back, oh, it wasn't even him. Oh, shit. Right? So we know that witnesses' statements and testimonies are not reliable 100% at all. So I'm a little flabbergasted that you're very kind of ignorant of these things, Mr. Sophisticated Jerk, because I thought you're very sophisticated and able to see through the garbage pail, you know, and get out the good bones.
Okay, I like that. I like that. We're gonna get to a little bit more of the video. I will stop it in.
Okay.
Y'all gonna see some more facts, and I'll keep questioning y'all insanity. I mean your perception.
Yeah. Let's see. Should we play like the last video or?
Let's play a little bit more of this one. Yeah, we'll jump into that last one.
Okay, for sure.
Firearm, but the battle between Megan and Tory is just beginning. With a trial approaching, both parties take to social media to spill their testimony.
I'll get out. I'm walking away. This from out the backseat of the car starts shooting me.
How can you identify who's shooting at you if you're facing the other way? How can you even identify criminal or malicious intent if you're not seeing what's going on behind you? That doesn't even make sense.
Setting up one of the most dramatic trials to hit Los Angeles in years.
Do you think you can get a fair trial right now?
Hold your hands up. Okay? Come on, people got here with their hands up.
A Los Angeles shooting has left famous hip-hop singer Megan Thee Stallion in an ambulance. And her on and off again lover, rapper Tory Lanez, in jail. But after the lovers' spat that brazenly ended in gunfire, both sides take to social media to argue their case. Soon the hip-hop he said, she said unfolds in a court of law, with Tory facing more than 22 years in prison for assaulting Megan.
Do you think you can get a fair trial right now?
The defense at trial was that Tory didn't shoot Megan. Kelsey Harris, her best friend and personal assistant, was the one who shot Megan.
Just gonna pause real quick for
So that was the whole case.
Okay.
Yeah, the defense.
We have evidence to suggest that the girl shot her, and they didn't care. They didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, that was their case. Hold on, what spot was you at? Because I wanted to see what the prosecution.
Oh, right here.
Her friend with Dick, though.
Assistant was the one who shot Megan.
The prosecution, led by Alexander Bott, was quick to poke a hole in that theory. First, pointing to the apologetic phone call Tory made to Kelsey from a jailhouse phone.
Just want to let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did if I wasn't that drunk.
Why would he be apologizing to the person he's claiming shot Megan?
The defense had an
Facts.
answer.
Hold on, hit pause. God damn it.
In addition to
I thought that was Megan he was apologizing to. He apologizing to Kelsey. Y'all standing on this?
Yeah, I'm standing on that. I never.
And this is audio. This ain't like oh, they submitted this. This is this fool going up there and like hitting the jack and talking on the phone.
I never claimed that Tory was the most brightest tool in the shed, right? I never said that, right? Because that was a dumb thing to do, right? But he was emotional, probably distraught, and this nigga's mind is just for him to even. First of all, why are you toting pistol with two women with you? Right? What did you do? What are you toting the pistol? Well, first of all, we're not going in the hood. We're going to be in the in the high end parts. So we don't.
Really you going to Melrose, Beverly Hills? You're going to the Jenner's house.
Yeah, we over there, right? There don't be no guns over there. But this You know, so I do believe that he does have to have some issues with thinking of what possibly could happen. Why would I put this situation even in the forefront? But hey, I just don't know. He kind of helped himself.
Yeah, y'all defense is stumbling. I want to throw that out there while y'all speaking. You and them three. This shit crumbling, baby.
I got strong. Look. Again, Jerk, right? You said that Tory Lanez is an emotional man. So I'm going to stand on that, right? Because he's a very emotional dude. And emotional guys, unfortunately, right? Which they are dangerous, but they're also a danger to themselves. He made an emotional decision by hitting her.
You would have got this nigga 20 years.
And apologizing. Look. He apologized because he knows, like, he put them in this situation where it shouldn't have even gotten that far. And, he probably still was not sober yet. As Stan said, he was still drunk, And, I believe Stan. I think Stan's right.
Shout out to Stan, but Stan full of shit too. Stan, you can come up here and get this work too, goddammit.
But you gotta understand, man, like, at the heat of the moment, right, when you're distraught, you're gonna say, like, a lot of things. Look, how often, man, like, has us men in general apologized to women even though they was dead in the wrong? But the fact that, like, it's just accustomed to our nature to, like, apologize and move on. You just try to be the bigger man in the situation and put them at ease. And
so you said he was he was exhibiting leadership by just taking accountability, even though it wasn't his situation.
And look, the last time I had to take accountability for something that I shouldn't even take accountability for, but I did it, and it was because I'm a man. You know what I mean? And then sometimes, like, you always gonna know the woman's gonna be wrong, but a lot of times it's not even worth trying to argue with her.
Okay.
I'm sorry, baby, and let's move on, and that's it. And that's how people try to play in that type of situation.
But just keep in mind, okay, right there, they just showed that he was calling Kelsey on the phone. At first I thought it was Megan. So when y'all was making that point, I was like, damn, okay, I can see it from that angle. But this is Kelsey, the person he's saying that shot. So that don't make no damn sense.
Well,
we get back to the video. Hold on, let's get to because I want to see what they say on that.
Yeah.
Get y'all defenses together.
With Megan, they claimed that Tory was also sleeping with Kelsey.
They made it about this lurid love triangle between Kelsey, Megan, and Tory. And they said that this jail call was Tory apologizing to Kelsey for sort of outing the fact that he and Megan had been intimate together.
That's when prosecutors planned to call Kelsey, knowing she had laid out exactly what happened that night in an interview with them before the trial even started.
Kelsey could not have been more clear that when Megan got out of the car, Tory pointed the gun at Megan and shot her.
In fact, True Crime News obtained audio of Kelsey's exact words in her interview with prosecutor Bott.
It was 5 gunshots. I look up maybe at the second or third gunshot. That's when I looked up. And you see Tory.
But when it came time to take the stand, suddenly Kelsey's story changed.
In just a few short months, she went from this open, smiling, caring, sharing person to somebody that wanted nothing to do with us, that didn't want to answer any of our questions.
Prosecutors believe she was paid off by Tory.
Right after the shooting, Tory told Kelsey he'd pay her $1 million to buy her silence.
It's something Kelsey has denied, but the prosecution had one more star witness, Megan Thee Stallion herself. She arrived at the courthouse in a purple suit, dodging cameras as she made her way inside to the witness stand. The defense portrayed Megan as a liar, pointing to her original claim that her foot was cut by glass. Her explanation? She was afraid of what could happen if police knew there was a weapon in the car that night.
You want me to tell the laws that we got a gun in the car so they can shoot all of us up? I ain't tell the police what happened immediately right then because I didn't want to die.
Prosecutors say after all the media coverage and social media attacks, it was a stunning moment of vulnerability that likely affected the jury.
Hold on, I just paused for quick. So
Yeah, that was a pretty stupid explanation from her. I ain't gonna lie. Cause it's like shit. Yeah, I worried about the police, but the dude that was just firing at you and shot you in your foot, that ain't gonna be the time I'm gonna be scared of the cops. You know what I'm saying? So that was a bad explanation by her.
What up, Marcus? Man, salutes to you.
What's good, Marcus?
What's up, everybody? How's everybody?
Pretty good, man.
Doing all right, man.
What's your thoughts on this, Marcus? I know you've been here for a minute.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the whole Thee Stallion and the Tory Lanez thing, I think it was people need to look at the details of it, because when it first came out, you're not gonna get the full, gray area details. You're just gonna get black and white picture of what is gonna be perceived as. As the case went on and as he got convicted, there were some fillers, there were some gaps in between that weren't being explained properly. When it came to the residue of the gun, Tory Lanez, I guess, wasn't the one who shot it. It was, if anybody can correct me, but it was a security guard. It was a guy that was hired, who shot the gun. And a lot of other stuff that was coming up when it came to what happened with Thee Stallion behind the scenes. It made her look very shady. And then especially when he got stabbed in prison like 14 times, all of a sudden, I get it. It's like a halfway, it's like a 50-50 gem pop yard / protective custody yard where that happened. Yeah, and it's, I don't know how people think about Thee Stallion. They probably have their biases towards her, and people that knew Tory Lanez, whatever. I got no fight, in this game, in this case right here. Is I don't have no sides. More the fact that I thought it was very interesting how the case was being played out. Same thing with the Diddy trial. More and more shit's coming out, and it looks like a lot of people that take the stand on that case, it's like they're incriminating themselves along with trying to incriminate Diddy at the same time.
Yeah, we're gonna break that one down too.
Yeah, so I don't think Tory Lanez should have got the sentence that he should have got. I think more the fact that maybe he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and could he have avoided certain things? For sure, that you can't argue that. But I just don't think Megan Thee Stallion was innocent in this. I think if you're gonna throw him in jail, throw her in jail too. But I don't
that's
think
kind of
Tory
hard when you're the person get shot. Because I see what y'all saying, man. Like she was lying, but I wouldn't give her the years. But I would have been like, look, okay, there's three other people. Obviously, she ain't shoot herself in the foot by the angle of the bullets, whatever. But it's
Cheddar
like
Bob did, but Cheddar Bob shut his own.
yeah. But I would have been like, hey, the other people that was in the vehicle, man, all of y'all getting like 2 to 3 years. Like that's it. Nobody want to talk. I'm giving all of y'all 2 to 3 years. Like you said, 10. That was crazy.
So let's play this out.
But here's the thing too, though. Like perjury, when you commit perjury under oath in trial, that can be a subject of up to 5 years minimum, depending on what the stipulations are. And go ahead, M3.
So let's mind this out, right? Let's see how this all started. So,
oh my bad. I thought that was M3 talk. I know it was Ruthless. My bad.
So we have 3 people in the car, right? We got a gun, right? So these two are arguing. The girls are arguing over this guy, right? This is 2 so-called associates arguing about this guy. So why would he shoot someone if he's not even the one like being confrontational? 1, right? Boom, that automatic exits him out. 2, obviously, when Megan Thee Stallion heard they stopped the car, Megan seen her grab that gun, she booked for it, obviously, right? Because they're 2 arguing, she's talking shit. Megan ain't no small girl, right? So I know Gray ain't finna just too much run up on her, so she grabbed that pistol, got Tory Lanez flop she knew he had, and once he waved that, Megan starts to run for it, right? She knew come on. That's the only logical thing that could happen. 2 people arguing, because Tory's not gonna shoot. Why would he shoot both girls he fucking, and he's not even arguing none of them? He's surprised.
Well, they said they was arguing in a car, and Tory and Megan started getting into it, and that's when she got out, was like, I'm done with this. And started walking away, and then he was like, dance, bitch, you know, whatever. And that's when he started bucking at the ground.
That was a lie. All that was a lie, right? That was all lies. That didn't. The bottom line is, that's why old girl shot her, because it was the two girls arguing. It was the two girls. Megan was like, "That's my man. Why you fucking woo 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 woo?" Right? Why would Tory be arguing with Megan about what? That's his. They're fucking, and he's fucking both of them. What's the
Well, because the other girl, she found out that she was fucking Kelsey too. So
right. I'm saying, oh, well, okay, I did that. What's gonna happen? They ain't nothing to argue about. Only one going to be arguing is jealousy, right? The other woman versus the other woman. It's the only two could be arguing.
May I interject a little too, Ruthless? I know you got your thing, but I think the thing too is which I kind of see it kind of with Ruthless too, like when women are arguing, right, especially intoxicated, especially a certain character or type of woman that acts a certain way in public in the streets, you know, you get alcohol, you get weapons, you get emotional, radical people. I don't want to go through the whole ghetto ratchet type stuff, but if a shoe fits, if it acts like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it usually is a duck. So, I think when it comes to that, I can see it happening a lot more, because I've seen it when I've been in scenarios like that where I see people, they get into it even without weapons being involved. They'll get into it with each other and shit like that happens. And women in our territory, especially a quote unquote alpha woman, quote unquote, or independent boss woman, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote. But so things like that, I can see it escalate. And that's if you look at the when they're doing the I'm drawing a blank here, gun residue, right? They're doing the gun residue. I was gonna ask you guys, did it show any gun residue on the girl that was arguing with Megan? Did it show gun residue on the security that was with Tory? Did it show any gun residue on Tory Lanez, on anybody?
Not on Tory.
Not on Tory, right?
There was something on him.
No gun.
Right, no, but the thing was, it wasn't like he was the holder. It wasn't like he wasn't going to fire the shot.
I think they threw it out because, like, when you're in a car and you got AC running, I think it disperses it. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was something where. So I forgot exactly what it was because I was looking into that. Because everybody's kind of honing in on that. They're like, there's no gun residue. I'm like, if you look at the schematics and shit or whatever they call it, where they do the testing, it's just like, man,
forensics.
When you're in a closed space like that and the AC pulls the air everywhere, it's just like, it ain't going to be dispersed properly or something like that. Yeah,
like it could end up on your shirt or something. It could end up on your hat, whatever. But see, that's the thing that kind of I go to. If the chick had it, the one that was fighting with Megan, or the Megan got a hold of the gun, at some point they're fighting, or something happens and she shoots off a round, and then it's like, oh shit, it's like set it off, that one, like, oh snap.
But Marcus, let me ask you something, because you're pretty logical. Is that usually, I'll say, female behavior to be shooting at somebody's feet?
No, I'm not gonna say it's usual behavior, but I can see it where it's a higher probability in that area more when it comes to if they have that kind of stuff with them. I can see it, and I can see it happening if they're drunk, if they're emotional, they're pissed off, if they got some shit they're holding. What's the saying? Drunk minds say sober thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's the statement. Something like that.
So I don't know if they could have been holding shit in the chamber, like in the gut, and then I just, it's a lot of shit. I can't put past nothing, but especially with your background and my background, we can't put nothing past nobody, what they're willing to do.
Definitely, because like you said, man, in the drunken state, it's like, man, they could. But typically, a female ain't gonna be like shooting at somebody's feet. Because I was just like, man, usually it'd be a little more midsection.
You think it was a scuffle?
Center mass, huh?
You think center mass? That's crazy. You think they must have had like a scuffle, like a little, like, hey, and as a scuffle happened, I've seen it where I've been in situations, or people have been in situations where, like, they're in the middle of something and somebody goes, let's say, for example, hypothetically, they're at a track meet, right? And one of the kids says something to the other kid, and then they reach with something in the bag and somehow the kid gets stabbed or something. You know what I'm saying? Like hypothetical. Just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? Hold on with this. Hold on to your logical red pill.
I'm triggered.
You know, I got you, dog. I got you. I know. I got you. Ruthless red pill truth. I got you. So, when it comes to that situation with the woman's, with the girl that's having an issue with Megan Thee Stallion, did they have a scuffle? Because I wasn't there, but unless there's video evidence either,
Yeah, I think they probably got into it a little bit, so I'm not gonna throw that out. But I'm telling you, man, I just think Tory shot at the ground, man, and it ricocheted and hit her on the foot.
Mr.
Because I'm telling you, man, it's odd, man. Nobody's gonna be shooting at people's feet. 5 shots.
No, what I mean, like as they're fighting their way off, and maybe someone sees somebody grab a gun, and they start fighting, and then somehow, they're trying to make sure that nobody gets shot, and then somehow as they're holding each other's arms down to make sure that shot doesn't get off.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I wasn't thinking because I'm like it would be center, but you're saying like they were pushing it down to the ground, and then okay, I can see that.
Yeah, that could maybe I've seen that.
Okay, yeah, nah, that's definitely different. Okay, I wasn't thinking about it like in that means. What was you about to say, Ruthless?
Breaking news. Tory Lanez and Kelsey Harris tested positive for gun residue. Both of them.
Both?
Tested positive, yes. And,
okay,
and it's also
so that eliminates the driver. So it's 2 of them that's guilty, pretty much.
Jesus.
Tory Lanez and her. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. It's not looking good. So he ain't gonna say nothing. So and she's like, "Hey, it's him." So if you're the person like running this case, I'm like, "All right, well, like open and shut, cut. Let's go." So that's what I'm saying. It's really not Megan lying about it. It's just. The number of the people there, and you narrow it down, it's like 2 people, and 2 of them is like, "Hey, it's him," and he's like, "I'm not saying shit." So they're like, "All right, that works for us. Bye. Close this one down."
But that brings true to my story, though, right? It makes my story more valid. Okay, why would a female? Let's hypothetically go with your little theory, right, Mr. Sophisticated Joke? That's kind of sophisticated.
And this is the theory that landed them in jail, though. So
let's just go with your theory.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Go with your theory, right? That Tory got out the car, shot the gun, maybe a little drunk, was off aim, whatever, right? Let's just go with your theory. Why would Kelsey have gun residue on her? Why?
What was that again?
If Tory Lanez is supposed to be your shooter, it was his gun off the top, most likely, right? Because we know that females don't carry guns.
Was the gun registered to Tory?
I don't think it was registered.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, that's even worse. That's even worse.
I don't know who was registered to, but we're just saying, right? Which my theory is, both the girls are arguing. She saw Megan Thee Stallion, she get that gun, she ran for it, and the girl popped, right? But we're going with your theory that Tory did it. How the gunshot residue, because the shots was outside the car, not inside the car, right? How did gunshot residue get on her and him? How is that possible?
That's actually an interesting point.
No, it's definitely. I ain't gonna lie. But because they probably were staying in close by each other. But this is where, because I didn't think about it until like you said, if you're saying that she came and started wrestling from the girl, then that means when Tory was like, "Hey, when somebody was making a point of like, how can he shoot her if she was walking away?" That destroys that angle that he was making. Because they were trying to say like she was walking away, she could have seen Tory shoot the gun. So if she's facing the girl, yeah. So that kind of.
So new evidence has surfaced in Tory Lanez case reported Kelsey.
Can you cite your sources real quick? I'm not trying to say I disagree with you. I'm not saying you're lying, but can at least
if your sources is like
put it in the private chat, dog.
Power 106. All right. Power 106.
Because they're so credible.
Who's that?
Because they're so credible. Because they're so credible.
You got to be crazy. Power 106 is an OG. Anyway, new evidence has surfaced.
Oh, here we go.
Tory Lanez case reported Kelsey's bodyguard, who was with her during the trial, has come forward claiming Kelsey was the one who shot Megan. So once again, that just corroborates my theory, right? My theory is, right, Megan and
you said that was Power 106 though, right?
The Power 106, baby.
Okay, well, my source, the guy in the basement, they can't get paid.
Yo.
That's my source now.
My source, TMZ, who was very accurate.
I'm just saying, TMZ is a good resource.
Oh God.
Listen, if you come out sorting bad music, that will destroy your business, man. And media parking. People don't. That's just something radio station.
TMZ has been wrong before, Ruthless. Respectfully, they have been wrong before.
Where they only report what's given to them, and they're pretty 98% reliable.
Jesus Christ.
98% is a good number. So I'm going to say they're reliable.
I'm gonna have to cite your sources on those numbers too. So I need to see where you get those numbers.
But go ahead, spit your theory, Ruthless. What's your theory again?
So my theory is, this is the theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tory in the back with, I guess Tory's driving, right? I'm guessing. Oh no, I'm sorry, not driving, but he's in the back with Kelsey and Meg, right? They all having a party, drinking, right? Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez been off and on, fucking, right? And Kelsey and Tory has been in a pretty good, decent relationship. And I guess Megan and Tory got a little close, maybe a little too close for comfort. And Kelsey was like, "What the fuck? What are you doing with her?" And Megan Thee Stallion says, "Well, I was with him first." And then these two started going back and forth, right? Tory Lanez is trying to shut him up. Hey, don't trip, but two women, emotions involved. So they start going back and forth. Now, I'm 100% sure that both of them saw that gun that this nigga had in the car, right? So I'm guessing as they're arguing, the argument's getting heated, the limo driver stops, right? And as they're arguing in the car, I guess Megan sees her go for that gun. She books it, right? She books it out that motherfucker. Kelsey gets out the other side and is going to take the shot, right? And grabs her. Hey, what are you doing? Bam! He shoots. Bullet hits the ground. Fragments get on her, and bam! Right. So obviously, that's just my theory, right? Because these two women were jealous, like you said. I think territorial, right? And they wanted power over the dick, and it was a pissing contest.
It's the way he paints the picture, man. It's so vivid. It's like this has to go on Patreon or members only or some shit.
Woo.
Know what I'm saying?
I like he threw those details in there.
Yo, he sounds like a Penthouse letter, like all pent up.
Listen, women. Let me tell you something. Women will kill over some good D. Don't get it fucked up. Y'all act like men are the only one that kill over good pussy. Women, if it's some good, especially if it's that bomb, and that's that, yeah, they will go in.
That's part of the reason why there's that saying, "Hell hath no weird fury like a woman scorned."
Yes. So we got to understand that women are emotional creatures, especially when they got good D in them, and somebody's a threat to their territory, they will, especially to black women. We talking about, right? These gangsters, we know Megan's a gangster bitch. So hey, it is what it is, right?
Wait a minute, Meg is gangster?
Pretty much. You know what I mean? I'm just saying she has street.
Is she though, or I thought she was college educated. I thought she was, I'm a PhD.
Women can flip it just like the men, right? Yeah, from the hood, out there, slanging it, fuck with D boys, right? And then she went to college, got a little rap career, and switched it up. Like, man, come on, we can flip. A lot of people can switch it up, right? We can educate it, we can be good. But if you listen to her music, right? She's from the hood. She's from the hood. Kelsey from the hood too. So hey, don't get it twisted. So I'm a little baffled by sophisticated joke, but maybe he isn't aware of the
Well, you should tell it to Kamala because she put her up there like she was gonna do something for the votes, and that didn't mean shit.
She did. She had her out.
She didn't mean. She had her twerking out there instead of saying, "Hey, I went to college. I got my bachelor's, my master's, whatever."
Listen.
But hey, M3, you can put up that last video, just a couple minutes, and we'll close out. But what was you saying, Ruthless? You said you should.
This is how the white people of the Democrat Party think about the black people. We ain't gonna talk intellectually to y'all. We gonna put you up here and let it shake. Twerk it, girl. And guess what? It worked. It fucking worked. Because guess who voted money for the Democrats? The black people.
Yeah, you just played the beginning part because I think that was the news conference where Ruthless was saying that the guy coming out talking about they got some new facts.
Hey, you notice how Ruthless was telling the story and he came down? He didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
He was
M3
trying to
was
hide.
shook. He was like,
He was trying to hide. I got you.
I was going to get too dark, so y'all wasn't going to be able to see me anyway.
It's all right, Wesley Snipes. Okay.
All right, I'll play it, but I'm going to pause every now and then because I know this is Fox Live, so you know how they be.
All right.
Come back in here to Live and Now from Fox. I'm AD Max. Let's turn our attention to new developments involving Tory Lanez after a stabbing at a California prison. We do know the alleged attacker. More information here. This courtesy of TMZ, saying the guy who allegedly attacked and stabbed Tory Lanez in prison is serving a life sentence for a murder charge. And this wasn't his first violent incident behind bars. The alleged attacker was identified by authorities as 42-year-old Santino Casio. Prison officials say he's serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and was previously convicted for an in-prison assault with a deadly weapon. So we're...
All right. Well, I got a minute. What you got to say?
That dude looks like a MS-13 member.
Well, that's a lot saying. That's pretty.
Pretty spot on.
Southside's an MS-13.
Yeah.
Yeah, he look official. Shit. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what made it official, the stabbing or just the tattoos, the teardrops. I don't know.
Just the look at the face. Yeah, he got that look like, hey. Yeah,
like
California, they got that. Y'all got your own set of politics out there.
Listen, bro. Listen. Tom Holman failed this one. Tom Holman, where you at, dog? Where you at?
All right, let me go ahead.
Following the latest here on
Hold on. Hit pause real quick. What was Ruthless saying?
I don't understand how that. There's something odd about this situation, though.
What, them two intertwining or something?
Yes, because usually, if a black and a Hispanic got some beef like that, they go to, the representatives and try to get the, you know what I mean? Just, I don't know if this is
they politic a certain way.
Right. Like if a black do something like break a rule or disrespect on them, they go to the message.
And they got to get the okay, right? They got to get the okays from the higher ups.
Yeah, so I'm.
Y'all don't have to is the phone thing that big like on the East Coast?
Oh, what you mean?
Like people control phones and stuff.
Oh yeah, the Mexicans got their phones, blacks got their phones.
Okay.
Bro, they got like burner phones and like other phones that they sneak in there too.
Yeah. Well, they don't sneak in there. The officers sell them. But yeah, they got
something like that. What's the okay? Now he wants to play games. Now he wants to play with semantics. Okay.
Ain't no something like that. They sell them, right? So they got cell phones in there. So phones is the problem. But this is very rare. This happens though.
Yeah, nah. Isn't he on a like the yard where since he's a celebrity, he's separated,
No, he's a
no. So that's the thing too that shout out to my boy Pablo Blanco and them, but we broke it down yesterday and Tory's like on a yard where it's like halfway PC, halfway like Gen Pop. So he's out there and I don't know much about the guy over here, Mr. MS-13, but since it's not his first time, I wouldn't be surprised if he could have been a hired hit to try to take him out in prison. This is just my speculation. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if a guy that's already serving life,
I've done a lot of prison time, a lot, over 13 years.
We know, bro. We've talked about it enough.
So I'm just saying, right? I understand exactly both state and federal, right? I understand politics, how they move. So when there's two races have a problem, there's representatives, right? So when blacks get caught stealing another race stuff, they go to the representative of blacks. Blacks deal with them, right? Stab them, get off the yard, send them up top, whatever, right? Vice versa. So for another race to just go and stab another race, you could call it a racial riot, right? That's an automatic, lives get taken. So Yeah, this is extremely, and it's a state. It's extremely volatile. Why would he put his people at risk like that? Unless, you know what I mean? Because what he's doing is, if he's making that move outside of his shot caller, right? He's putting his people at great danger.
But Ruthless, could it also be
incident at the
or
chow
he
hall?
might have been feeling himself and he wasn't maneuvering with like his group then? That's why he's kind of
No. He's black. Automatically, you get pointed. You're the black side. There's the Mexicans. These Mexicans. This is the black that. We're separated off the top. There's no option. This is not negotiable. Unless you're a Southsider. Now, if you're proclaiming as a black Southsider, then you'll be right over to their people and you'll be with the Mexicans, right? And they still would stab you like that. They would do a fade, they'll fade head up or something, or yeah. So
okay.
For Jim just to stab another race, especially anybody black outside of a politic or talking, that's guaranteed a riot, and it endangers all the other Hispanics.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. M3, you can play it.
Okay, sure.
Fox. We're also learning more information about new evidence being brought forward in this case involving Tory Lanez. We watched it here on Thursday or on Wednesday as the legal team sought justice in the case of Tory Lanez. They presented new evidence that suggests he never fired the weapon the night Megan Thee Stallion was shot in the Hollywood Hills. Lanez is currently serving a 10-year sentence for the shooting. The legal team alleges she lied about what happened the night she was lost. So let's take you right now out to some of these details here on Live Now from Fox from Los Angeles earlier on today about this new evidence being presented. We'll see if it has any legs in the courts. Let's listen into this here on Live Now.
Here, some really compelling new evidence that you've never heard before. Our legal team will explain all of that to you. We will have updates on Tory Lanez, Mr. Peterson, on how he's doing. It's really sad to see the situation that he's in. And we think it's time, enough is enough. It's time to bring the brother home. So with that, I would like to bring up our lead consultant, Mr. Walter Roberts.
Good morning. We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gaston,
M3, you might want to pause it for a second.
And her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representative.
Yeah, you just might want to pause for a second.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we could talk a little bit before I continue to play it, just so we can act on fair use. But what's your guys' intake on this point?
Yeah, I just, you got to be just cautious because a lot of times I think people over exaggerate what they have. But I mean, they might actually have something. So, everybody's taking it like, oh my God, they got this. I'm like, man, you ain't even see the shit yet. You got to see the evidence first so you could actually see if it links to the case. Because it might be some stuff that maybe wasn't submitted, but it's not that impactful. That stuff happens. Because, it's not like the process is seamless. I think sometimes people think like, man, everything's going to go to perfection. So it's just like, man, a lot of times if they got majority of the stuff, you all go find some errors. Now, if it's a major error, then yeah, it's going to reverse some shit. But I would just say, honestly, man, at this point, because I think that charge was like a little high. Man, after this incident happened, it's like, man, let this dude out. I wish they could adjust people's sentences, after stuff. It's like, man, come on, man. This person wasn't terror to society. It's like, man, you can. I wish they gave people the latitude of like, man, let's go ahead and let him out, man. He done got stabbed 14 times. He wasn't on that type of time.
They don't give a fuck about it. They're gonna patch you up and put you right back on that one.
Oh yeah, no, that's what happens. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, damn, like they should be able to make those like adjustments because it's like, damn.
Only one can bring Tory out is, outside of an appeal process, is he gets pardoned by President Trump at the end of his term. But
I think Trump will do it.
Yeah, that's
if I was him, I'll be rocking the MAGA hat. I have on the socks. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be throwing that fist up in the air just like he did. You know, hey.
But this is an indictment on the American justice system, how it is corrupted. A lot of these district attorneys get hard-ons for people, and especially if they may look at all the evidence, right? And the evidence may point down the middle, right? Could be her, could be him. Who's the most easy one to get? Him, right? Who's the one to make a jury believe do it? Him. So the corruptness of the justice system is a very big, man. It's very bigger than you guys think. I mean, I understand that we as people, we look at, oh yeah, you know, officers, they do their job. No, these motherfuckers put cases on people all the time, and they will put an innocent man away without, because it's all about money. At the end of the day, the district attorney wants the numbers, wins and losses. That's all they care about. And Tory was the easy target, most likely to convict. He got the statement from Megan Thee Stallion. She got a statement from Megan Thee Stallion, even though she probably knows that it's not all the way true. But, you know, who cares, right? Who gives a fuck about Tory? These DAs, these judges they have no sympathy or empathy for the citizens of America, right? We are job security to them. And whenever there's a chance to take advantage of that and also to move their career up to make more money, become judges or head district attorneys and shit like that, they'll sacrifice all the citizens who, we don't care if you're innocent or not. We just run the system on you.
Okay. Yeah, we get back to that video, just watch a little bit more, man. We could wrap up.
All right, for sure.
The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf. The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out. But given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover.
Yeah, we can stop.
Not long ago,
see, that's why I say
he was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James.
So again, Drew.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it sounded like he's gonna say something right here, so we could keep playing. I was like, man, we could wrap it up. It sounded like he ain't saying shit else, but then he started talking. So,
all right, you want me to continue there?
Yeah, just a little bit more.
All right, for sure.
Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody. never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw two women fighting, two men break up the fight, one man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting.
Oh,
this
my
further
gosh.
iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete.
Wait, hit pause.
It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case.
What's that, Rufus?
I just got a victory, right? My
No, you didn't.
Yes, he did. Because
He said, "No, you didn't. No, you did." He said, "No."
You got the bodyguard finally like recanting.
No.
bias.
Before that. No. Before that, right? Once again.
Oh, you're
right?
talking about the sequencing.
No, I'm just the testimony was two women were fighting. That's my own point, right? Which was my theory, right? Which made perfect sense. So that gives me a victory right there. Is I should have been a fucking man. I could have been great, man. But I knew I put two and two together.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda with this.
But I'm just saying, I'm doing my victory lap right now. So it made sense. It made perfect sense. These two were territorial over this guy, and she took the gun out. Bah, bah, bah. Bitch, leave my dick alone, right? So, so we have here, right, a sound, and they already put the appeal in to the appellate court. So, I mean, I'm a little proud of my ingenuity not to believe all women and not convict anybody before all the facts come out. Thank you very much, Mr. Sophisticated Jerk.
Yeah, this is where y'all theories falls flat. So you do got that lane, and I give you in. Even Marcus, y'all kind of was like, hey, this could have happened. So I think y'all like did a good job putting that together, but they got a thing called a eyewitness, a live eyewitness that says that motherfucker did it. And Miss Harris says it too.
Wait. You
and that's powerful in a court.
Yeah, but now guess what? The appellate court, once they read all the evidence and they see it all together, they're gonna overturn it.
Nah, because what they're gonna look at it as, they're gonna be like, is he willing to talk?
No. They
corroborate that didn't happen? Because we already you're going off of the driver that or the bodyguard that skipped. So that's what I'm saying. Like
he overheard them talking and said, "His conscience, sir." Man's conscience, man. His conscience said, "My boy didn't do this." She already talking about, "I shot that nigga. I shot that bitch," and he overheard her. She probably said it was like, "Ain't nobody gonna say nothing." And the nigga said, "No, I can't let you do it. I can't let you take him down." So the point is, it makes more sense for her to be the shooter than to do Tory. I mean, how could a district attorney not see this?
I'm trying to tell you, they're gonna be like, is Mr. Tory Lanez, whatever his name is, they're gonna be like, is he willing to take this stand and cooperate what you guys are saying?
Well, this was the appellate court, so they're just gonna overturn it. And
you think you would have made a good lawyer, Ruthless?
I would have been a great lawyer. Oh my God!
Like, wait a minute, you weren't even a good fucking bank robber. What the fuck are we talking about here right now?
Thank you. Yeah, that's true. I got caught, so you're right. But I give you, I was in the wrong career. You know, I went with the fast instead of the future, right? But I didn't figure this out till later in life. Like, damn, I should have been a lawyer. So you're right.
You were making jail spreads later.
Yeah, I was doing all that, right? But hey, you know what I mean?
All right, Ruthless feeling himself a little bit.
No, I mean,
yeah, I'm definitely want to see how this plays out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
See, you don't see it because you're a little blinded. Mr. Sophisticated, you're a little blinded, right? And this is called blind.
I'm blinded, or am I logical?
No, not logical, but believe all women, right?
It's all hearsay, overruled.
In your mind, Sophisticated Jerk, and I'm not going to get mad at you or nothing, but in your mind,
you know what he called you, Jerk, right now? He basically called you Daredevil. That's what he called you. He called you Daredevil, basically.
I think Sophisticated Jerk's looking at it like a woman couldn't have done that. Right?
You said really, I'm out here simping, huh? I'm simping tonight, huh?
Simping. I call you more pro woman, like you're more like
a feminist,
no, I ain't
male
gonna say
feminist.
I'm not a feminist, but you're
A manamist.
No, he underestimates a woman's ability to reach a level of violence.
Yeah, I don't think do you understand Jerk's like career resume? Kind of like I'm not a little, you do understand that, Ruthless. So it's not like he's not putting anything past a woman. It's just in this case. And like I said too, like I said, I think multiple parties are to blame in this. It's not just one party. I think that's where mostly I was coming from.
It doesn't go like that though. It doesn't go like that. Somebody
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, Ruthless.
man, it's time,
Ruthless. There's a getaway driver. There's the guys with the guns. There's, the person watching the corner of the street that's aiding and abetting. There's aiding and abetting. There's accessories. There's accessories.
You're talking about my case. Okay.
So, no. We're talking about any other guy that's not Ruthless, or woman.
No, I'm just saying,
In
right?
this situation. In
this country, we stand, right? I pledge allegiance to the flag, right? And I believe sophisticated jerk falls under this, right? But America is a type of country that women are untouchable, pretty much, right? They just don't. They will even. I believe sophisticated jerk, even if it comes out that, and even she confesses it, he thinks she's lying. So, I mean, it's understandable. Most men think like sophisticated jerk, right? Most men think that women are, angelic, right? They don't do things like that. They don't.
Yeah, I don't think. Have you heard Jerk's statements though? Like throughout the. All right, I'm not trying to stick up for Jerk, but he's called out women for what they are in their BS, and he has his stances, and I'm pretty sure he's.
I'm pretty balanced. Like in this case, I just don't. I mean, when you guys laid it out, like when you was like, hey, man, it could have happened. They were wrestling and the gun was aimed to the ground because I didn't think of that angle. So when y'all said it, I'm like, okay, man, I can see that. But I just think it's highly unlikely. I just think, man, when you get an emotional male and he operates like this.
You see that's feminine.
Yeah, those are called mass shooters, though.
And he gets in this environment because he's trying to show out. Like even Conrad said, he was like, man, he's not from that background. So I think, sometimes, man, when they trying to live up to the hype, he's getting that status. He played into it a little too much. I just seen it too many times, man. So I just think, what's that?
Now you're projecting and speculating, right?
That's all we got. I mean, he's in a situation, so that's what I'm saying. He is emotional. I ain't gonna be kicking it with no Megan Thee Stallion in no public.
Sophisticated joke. How you gonna say somebody's emotional, right? Right? Do every man have a degree of emotion in him? Yes. But what would he be? Wait a minute, he's the star of the show. He's fucking two bad bitches, right? So
because a man that wasn't emotional would have been putting his business on blast like that, and then putting people in a position where it even escalate like this.
That's another conversation. You're moving the goalposts.
Nah. It's the same goal.
Bad bitches arguing over his dick.
It's the same goal,
right? He's like a motherfucking champion, right? And he's a millionaire. I got two bad bitches, and he's a Megan Stallion. She's rich, so she can have any guy she want. But and the other girl's not. She's really pretty, so she can have any guy she want. And they're arguing over him.
Where he at now, though?
Why would he be emotional? He'd be happy, like yeah.
Ruthless. Where he at now? What's his residence right now?
I'm not going to sit here and say
a state penitentiary.
You don't think that's
but he's crying because they both got good pussy. I don't know what you talking about. I'm just saying what you talking about, right? You mean emotional? Oh, that pussy's so good, right?
Nah, just the way he operated, man. That's what got him in this mess, man.
What you mean? What way he operated? What you mean? I'm confused. Are you trying to judge him by his past?
I'm judging him by where he landed, where he's at.
Okay.
You acting like he at the Hilton, kicking it with some chicks. He in there getting stabbed up, man.
Well, I mean, that's
14 times.
I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know the whole story. But I do believe that once they put that appeal in, this might have been go to the theory which Knowledge and Relationships gave, right? That it was a hit, right?
Yeah, I agree with Stan. Lizzo's gonna save him from jail.
Yeah, I'm a little suspicious because races, once again, right? especially different races, don't attack each other unless they politic first. This is engraved in the California system. This is 20s, 30s of years, right? You know, you got the gorilla family, you got all these powerhouses in there. And one man gonna stab this dude outside the code. This had to be sanctioned by the blacks, in my opinion. It had to be. Because why would a Hispanic risk his people's lives for a personal beef when he could have just went to the blacks and the blacks could have got him up out of there? Right? 2 blacks guys would have came and dealt with him. Nigga, you up here putting us in jeopardy. Da, 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 da. Bah, boo, bah, they the boo bopped him. They got him up out of there. Come on, man. What's good? The blacks don't play about that shit. Because it's war. You talking about you up here messing with somebody, guy, and you causing shit, and you're putting us at risk. They're gonna send two hitters at you. What's good? Right? The bouncers, nigga. And they're gonna bounce you off a few walls and get you straight. And if it's real bad, they're gonna knock a few teeth out and send you out the yard. You're gonna be in the hole. So yeah, blacks don't play about that shit, and the Mexicans don't either. So I'm under the impression maybe this came from, like you said, maybe a payment to the guy's books. And it was like probably like 50 grand or more. So fuck it, you know, he's gonna just go in and go to the hole and leave the yard. You know what I'm saying? So that sounds more of a practical way to do that. So this could be something from the outside.
Okay.
I'm just saying, right? So this is why I don't wish this on nobody. I don't wish prison on nobody, right?
Nah, definitely.
Prison, you can check in, but doesn't mean you're gonna check out, nigga.
Yeah, it ain't no joke, man. That's why I do like covering these topics, honestly, because it's just like at the end of the day, it's like, man, avoid this stuff. Like that's why I said it's a little emotional because it's just like, man, you can't control how other people spiral out of control. So like with him, it's just like, man, you can't play with people's emotions.
But you know, who was playing with his emotions though?
No, I'm saying he, you know, with the 2 females, you got them together and then business is getting revealed. That's messy. You can't maneuver like that unless you up front. Because you even said it too, Ruthless. It's like, man, you need to be up front with stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. That's he don't know how to maneuver.
I believe he opened a can of worms, but that's the alcohol in him, right? He's probably a raging alcoholic. You know what I mean? And shit, his mouth just start running and gotcha. Yeah. So I do believe he's a little reckless. And he had a gun in the car with 2 women and a limo driver in Beverly Hills area. I don't confuse about that. But I do agree with that. Why would you carry a gun on you and you're in the elite or the higher end of the society? I don't know, right? Maybe that's kind of stupid. But still, this does not, I would not let Megan Thee Stallion off the hook with this lie she told. Obviously, she lied because she knew who shot that gun. 3 shots. She looked back. She saw who the shooter was. No questions about it. And she knew it wasn't Tory.
I just can't see nobody taking up for the person that shot him and did him dirty. That's what I'm saying. That's where I just can't see nobody wearing that jacket for somebody like that. That's what I'm saying. If she would have done that, like I said, I'm pretty sure like with the jealousy and the whole somebody stabbing you in the back, your friend, and then they shot you, like that ain't gonna be the person I'm protecting.
Well, I think maybe Megan just had some sort of disdain for him opening his mouth, which caused her to lose her best friend, possibly, right? When everything was going smooth. And she probably just like, fuck you, nigga, I'm gonna get rid of you because you you pissed me off.
But all right, M3, we can go ahead and close out there.
Yeah, for sure. And
when I shout out to everybody pulling up, giving their perspectives.
Yeah. Shout outs to everybody for tuning in, wherever you was in the chat or on the panel. Thank you guys for tuning in to Toxic Tuesdays. Hey, actually, this was definitely a hell of a topic. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like there's still someone like to recover this story, but on a side note, yeah, Great Pill, man. StreamYard. Yeah, every time like when people feel like they want to give up on StreamYard, you always have something like coming out fresh though. So shout out to this new chat system. I'm kind of digging it. And it's
I like it. It looks good.
Screen.
Hey, Ruthless, what's the best way to hit you up? Because, man, I got a couple of topics, man, I want to flesh out with you.
I thought I gave you my IG. I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. I got IG's the best way.
Yeah.
That's his burner account.
You know, Ruthless, man. Ruthless up there in age. Ruthless got a beeper and one of those brick phones.
Oh no, I got a dinosaur shack. You know, radio.
No. I have no burner. Listen, I got one phone. That's why I got rid of my last girlfriend, right? So nothing to hide, no shit.
Okay.
You got my
second phone. It's like it's a second.
All right, yeah, I'll reach out. Yeah, we need to do a breakdown on that Diddy though. I want to.
Oh man, I got so much stuff. Oof. Now I'll give you.
Okay. We'll do that next Tuesday, M3, when we come.
Yeah. We could definitely.
I know what you should call it. Toxic Truth Tuesdays. Okay.
Boy, I got some words for the federal government, boy.
Uh-oh. This cat gonna have bullseyes on our back.
Oh no, he's gonna say I didn't do it.
Man, okay, I'm down for that. I haven't really been keeping up with, like the Diddy trial, so y'all gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on it this week. So yeah, we'll be ready.
For sure, though. Okay, well, yeah, I'm down for that, man. So, yeah. Anyways, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in to Knowledge Relationships Talks on Tuesday. We'll see you guys next time. We won't be streaming like this weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend. Your boy got 4 days off. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna be with gonna be out of town,
Gonna be out the streets.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that sounded like you was about to say I'm gonna be out in the streets, M3. why you cut that off like that?
I'm just going to a place that's gonna be better. You know what I mean? So take your picture.
He going to the strip club.
Have a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, though. All right, everybody, we're out.
All right, peace.
Later. Don't forget to comment after the show.
Knowledge and relationships.